I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know. I'll think about it later.
Quite splendid.
Quite splendid. What's this? Live? Why does she look depressed? No idea. Let's move back to computer mode from tablet mode.
Moving on to computer mode.
Computer. I already did my Genshin dailies earlier today, so hey ho.
Nice.
Because it's just hit midnight, I've realized. Like, yes, I already did them. Google to Twitch.
Change log, double check everything.
Got a mod view.
Let's go.
And I shall be right back.
Right, push the changes I have made. Oh boy.
Oh, I'm back. Blaze. Duality of cat. That freaking last image, I don't like that. I don't like where this is going.
That second one looks like honey for some reason, like her eyes.
It's way more cat-like.
I don't like how smaller people's are in the third one. That's what I don't like about it. Sparkly Jim, how are you doing today?
She angry. She angry though, don't talk.
No talker, she angry. Doing good? That's great to hear. I'm doing alright.
Close that.
What?
I was just going through my tabs and I'm like, yeah, let's close that.
Just gotta wait. Alrighty, well. That did
You
not
had
last
background
5
music
minutes.
on?
I did.
I hear something. Thought I was going insane.
Just fill out the 5-minute wait period, which it just barely did. Alrighty.
Alrighty then.
Alrighty then. Stream, it will not fucking die like it has in the past couple of times, you know.
I mean, when you streamed Heroes yesterday and you streamed the day before, it was perfectly fine, wasn't it?
Yeah, but Heroes isn't as strenuous on my PC as Unreal is.
What are you on about? Unreal and Heroes is like too strong.
I did lower the quality of the stream. It was streaming from like, was it 20 by 1080, and I lowered the resolution and I lowered the frame rate, so it's not gonna be streaming as high as resolution or frame rate anymore. So,
Wow.
hopefully that will be enough to help with that. Alrighty, so I guess we can get started. When was the last time we streamed? 26th.
British Queen.
Citation Soda Fizz was. How you doing today, Azirio?
I just thought like, wait, it's Tuesday for me, but yeah, because you've started this later than usual.
Yeah. Next, flying aiming and silver flying inputs. I'm doing alright. How are you today? Actually, I just asked that. Sorry. I'm tired, as you can probably tell. I just asked the same question twice. Just to crouch half height, package settings changing. New character animations. Cleaned character animation folder. Fixes to that. Updated flight bar widget. Balancing to bombs. How's it going, Supersonic? How you doing? Testing default character gravity changes and updates to enemy platforms.
It really goes to show how devoted you are to this project. What, that he's like half awake most of the time. That's totally the reason he stays up.
I'm staying up a little bit later because I'm getting ready to go back to work, and I work night shifts usually, so I need to get used to being up late.
Not always.
Not always. Sometimes I do work mornings, but
No, like I'm saying, don't you just stay up all the time anyway?
no. During these last few months of quarantine, I've had a pretty consistent schedule of going to bed at like 11. You're fine. That's good to hear.
That is a decent time to go to sleep. I'm jealous of you.
Alright, there is quite a few changes that we have done over the past 2 weeks that we can't show you because they involve the tutorial level, the combat tutorial, and we don't spoil that stuff, so just know that the combat tutorial is actually almost finished. There's a couple of aesthetic things we gotta change about it, and there is a few actual changes involving the enemies inside of it. We gotta give them like proper attributes and health and stuff, but all that's really just number balancing. But once that's done, the combat tutorial room is complete. Huge chunk of what I've been working on over the past 2 weeks.
On me.
But to go over real quick, the first couple of things, I think you made changes, or you created new climbing animations for Knuckles.
Yep. Well, not a new up and down. Those need changing a little bit later on.
Yeah.
But
maybe.
What else now?
Maybe before this update, maybe not. Haven't decided yet. Knuckles will blink and stuff now. So, that's cool. And that includes while he is clung to walls. He'll blink while doing that as well.
Yes.
Look at that, my notification works. How's it going, Junkie? How you doing today? It's probably not going to blink. But his eyes are open while climbing now. They used to not be open.
They were open. It's just the animation was technically backwards, so I always had the eyes hidden.
Oh, right.
That was the problem.
But we've got new Sideway wall climbing animations for now.
Yeah, they're not amazing, but they'll have to do because animating sideways is hard.
Yeah.
Been at it for a while.
Love that Knuckles wears a hat. Yeah, by default Knuckles will wear a hat. That timer
The
seems
hat
broke.
stays on.
Ah, would you look at that? The timer is broke.
Huh.
Huh.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything.
Why did you break it?
That's weird. I'll have to look at that. That's strange. I never noticed that before.
I mean, it's not doing it now.
You can add those rings. I said just change the size, number of rings. I don't know what you're talking about, other than the fact that we've done this here.
Yes, we've added a counter now to the rings. They look really low quality though, but that's just because of the widget size.
Yeah, the widget does not like to be scaled down this far.
It's kinda not avoidable.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a way to get around it, at least as far as I've looked into.
Timer's broken one of your last streams. I can't remember which one though, but bugged for a bit. Huh, I never noticed. I will have to look into that. That seems like maybe a runtime problem somewhere. But yep, the ring boxes are now a little bit more dynamic. You can set them to give you a random amount of rings or a specific amount of rings, and the number on it will reflect it. And if you don't want to display the number, I know the numbers can look a little ugly. If you don't want the numbers displayed, we add an option to take that off and the turn off. So don't worry about it. I know the numbers don't look the best, so if you don't want them on, you don't have to have them on. So,
but it's set up with a widget, so you can actually type the number in.
Yep.
And it'll actually show up in game.
About modern super rings? Are you talking about these 10 rings? I don't know. We'll mess with that later. That's not a right now thing. These here. Obviously, you can change the ring count however you want. So let's say give it 25 rings. The UI will automatically update and say, hey, this is worth 25 rings. And it will give you 5 rings. Shocker. And if you set this random ring amount, it will show up as a question mark. So whenever you have a item box set to a random ring amount, you can set a maximum and a minimum, so like a range in which it will give.
Well, you got that backwards. The top one's minimum, bottom one's max.
A minimum and a maximum. You can set the range. So if I set this to like, I don't know, 500, it will give me a random number between 1 and 500. In this case, 483. And what was it? You said if try to put a number bigger than, like if I tried to put...
If you put a number bigger than 999, it'll just...
play 999.
Yeah, it'll cap out at 999.
Yep.
Because, I mean, look, it's just barely fitting into the monitor. It's... You don't want to put that much more in it.
A negative number? I never tried with a negative number, actually. It should work, I think.
It just take away rings.
Yeah, it'll take away rings. So, let's see here. If I hit this here... I hit this. Yep, it took away the rings, and it also took away the score. So, what do you know?
No score for you.
It does work with negative numbers. I never tested that. I never even thought to test that, but it works. So,
in a technical sense, yes.
I wonder if, like, anywhere from 50 to negative 50.
Yeah, it'll be negative 50 to 50.
It cannot give you less than 0 rings. Yes, it can. It shouldn't be able to do that. I will have to fix that.
Wow, it just got short up.
Yep. It shouldn't be able to do. That'll be an easy fix. We'll just have to clamp it to be.
Or wouldn't you clamp it in the game, the player controller, where the rings are actually saved? So whenever they get set below 0, they just get set back to 0.
Yeah, that'll be an easy fix. Add ring. Count.
Seeing a bit of live coding.
Integer. Minimum of 0, maximum of... Actually, no. What we'll do instead is this. We will do a select rather than that. If this
Knuckles.
is...
Can Knuckles punch the classic item boxes to break them? Not yet, but that's something I want us to have.
This is
'Cause
less than 0, then select 0.
I think it should be. I think just attacking them, it's like tail swiping them as well, should also open it. We need to make it so the item boxes interact with hitboxes.
Yep, they're not currently set to do that. Don't know when they'll do that. Maybe not this update. Maybe this update. I don't know. We'll have to see about that
I don't
one.
think it'd be too hard to put in. It's just we need a manual to properly put it in because he's the one who messes with the hitboxes the most.
So if the ring count passed in here is less than 0, or this plus this would equal, I think. If this doesn't work out, we'll mess with it later. It honestly is a pretty simple, so I'll just have to get out later. I got 23. Alright. Or 23. I had an idea. You can set preset number of rings as 5, 10, 20. Monitor. The preset idea sounds good, but it would go up by 5. I mean, you don't really need presets if you can set a specific number already. Like adding presets.
Just like bulk edit.
Yeah. Adding presets is just adding bulk to the code that doesn't really need to be there if you can already just manually set whatever you want specifically.
I'm saying like you could just bulk edit like a bunch of item boxes in one go if you wanted a bunch of them to have the same number. If you like control click multiple of them, you can edit a bunch of items at the same time.
Yeah. Except if they don't have the same value, you can't change it because value in order for you to bulk edit a value.
You can. I think if you like type stuff in, it just resets everything to it. I think. I know you can do that with a boolean. You can like tick a boolean on and off.
Well, that's...
Hello, Tails. Fizz is in the way.
Let me hide Fizz for a second. There, Fizz is... Fizz has been yeeted.
Fizz has been Thanos snapped.
I hope the stream quality is good enough to actually see things.
Barely. You can kind of pick stuff about like apart if you have it maxed out, but it's fine.
All right, so I don't think that's gonna how what I did to those item boxes are gonna work. I'm gonna have to work on that later, but that doesn't matter. Okay, the ring box is cursed now. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see here. So the new Knuckles animations, that was one thing we did. There's also just in general adjustments to Knuckles' animations, like all together, like over here.
His gliding animation.
Yep.
Has been slightly tweaked.
The one on the left is the old one that we used to use here, versus the one on the right here is the one we use now.
Yeah, I went back and tweaked it a bit and added a bit more.
Got a little bit more flow to it. How's it going, Tailsy?
Much more prefer the new one.
Yep. The overheat meter was renamed a stress meter because that's what it's meant to be called, as a stress meter, not an overheat meter. Let's see here. The capsule half height of characters actually changes whenever they crouch, except with Knuckles, because Knuckles act at them.
I mean, this whole crouching code stuff is kind of jank at the very moment. Like,
and we gotta.
Why.
The only reason it's jank right now is because we gotta fix some animation work with it. If we fix the animations involved with the crouching, then there won't be as much jank. But
I'm still Xing the doubt, to be honest, but whatever.
Well, part of the jank is the fact that we're moving around the mesh. If we just reposition the animation, we wouldn't have to move the mesh, or most of the jank is gone. That's a small adjustment to the crouch that I think actually used to be in Vanilla Infinity, but we moved for whatever reason. I don't know.
At some point, it just disappeared. But,
Is that a
yeah.
new UI element? Yes, it is actually a new UI element. Tails has some new UI elements to cycle through his different bomb types. And he's also got new bomb models, which I guess we can go ahead and go over real quick.
Yeah.
The stress bar can put the name Rage Bar. No, it's called the stress meter. We've already established that name. So I think we've already shown off this arc before. That was in the last stream. And we showed off some of the models, but we actually have finished models and animations for all of the bombs now. Or not all of them. I think the balloon bomb still needs an animation.
Yes.
But the homing bomb now has a proper animation for whenever it tracks the target. As you can see, it starts off closed. And the moment it finds a target, it flanges open and then flies into its target and explodes. It looks like a Pokeball. It does look like a Pokeball. The balloon bomb is the one that doesn't properly animate. We don't have the animation set for that one properly yet, but what it's supposed to do is the balloon is supposed to come out the top, but currently it just expands at the moment. It's supposed to magnetize to the target and then spawn a balloon that then lifts up the target. That's what it's supposed to do. It doesn't currently do that at the moment. Why does it not roll? Why does not what roll? What is what not roll? Are you talking about like the actual sphere? That's just an animation issue right now. We've got a solution for the animation. We do actually have a rolling animation. We just have to figure out a way of getting it in there because of projectile shenanigans. All of these bombs don't actually use physics. Unreal has a default physics system for physics bodies. We don't actually use it, we use projectile physics, which are not the same as normal physics bodies. Which means you can't track certain statistics properly, and you can't play animations without things looking weird because it's not a normal physics body.
It's strange.
It's very strange. We have an idea on how we're going to work around it, but we just got to implement it yet.
And all the bombs models are custom made by me.
Yes. Yep, all of the bomb models are made by Reese.
Pardon me.
Of course, we also got the Tails doll. It's supposed to animate. It doesn't currently animate at the moment, but it will eventually animate.
The leg always falls off as well.
Yeah, one of its legs always fall off. We also have the scatter bomb. The scatter bomb has its own model now.
I thought it was cluster.
Yeah, the cluster bomb, you're right. The cluster bomb has its own model. Supposed to represent like a latch that pops open whenever it explodes and spawns in more bombs. So if I leveled it up and then threw it, boop. I don't think it's gonna spawn. Nope, it will spawn in the correct bomb. Kind of like so. And then there is we don't have an icon for this one yet. This is the last icon we're waiting on. We do have a mesh for the
bomb.
sticky bomb.
The sticky bomb is a cube.
Yep.
Our graphic designer says it looks like the companion cube.
It does.
Tails has got the companion cube.
It looks better as a ragdoll. It looks cute. The robots are interesting. Yeah, whenever you throw it, it's gonna ragdoll, but once it lands, it's supposed to play an animation, is what it's supposed to do. That way it doesn't just sit there, because it could fall to the floor and it could, like, roll around on the ground and stuff like that, and it can cause issues for the player that they may not want. So we're gonna have it play an animation
It's gonna do the Baron Bunny animation from Genshin Impact, if people know that. It's gonna just sit and dance. Hey.
So yep,
Hey.
all of the models now have, or all the bombs now have individual models. And all of the models also have, actually they're not located here, they are located here. They all have their own icons. They actually all use the exact same material, which is actually kind of interesting. I like how you managed to do that. All of the bombs use the exact same material.
It's to save on resources.
Yep. Wasn't you also gonna like redo Tails Doll's texture or something?
Yes.
I don't know if we'll get that done before the update, but that's something we're probably gonna do.
Yeah. Just slightly increase its quality.
You can
Slightly.
You can add the types of ramp. There are 3 types, one small with the low.
Ooh, pardon me.
There you go. All of the are you talking about the dash ramps? Because if so, the dash ramps angle, launch angle, and stuff that's already
Changeable variable.
yeah, that's an already changeable variable. You don't have to create completely individual ramps for that kind of thing.
Oh, there's new spike meshes.
Oh yes, and you went ahead and got the materials, right?
I didn't for the bomb, but
yeah.
I went and got the spike panel, spike cylinder, and the flamethrower to the side.
Yep.
I got those meshes, exported them, and I have redone their textures slightly, so they're all sharing one texture now.
Yep.
They're all sharing one material. And I also changed the color of certain bits, so like the spikes are a lot more shinier and more noticeable. And the spike panel works on an animation now instead of moving a component around, which was giving us some problems where you would clip under the ground. So now that it's an animation, it doesn't do that anymore.
It also, I think we got to rework it still a little bit, but it also used to crash the engine because it would get stuck in an infinite loop somehow.
It crashed the engine. I mean, it hasn't
Not
for
the
me.
engine. Not the entire engine. The
No, I know what you mean. But like, it hasn't given me an infinite loop.
It used to. It won't anymore because we fixed it. But have to it can still cause some stuttering, especially if like you hang out around the end of the around the radius. So I might have to look into it. Maybe it's already been fixed. I don't know. But
speaking of new meshes as well, there's the new switches that I've remade essentially.
Yep.
They now animate. They're nice and shiny. They're more HD because I completely remodeled them essentially. Besides the base, kind of just touched up it.
Yep.
And they've got animations when you hit them now as well.
Like so. And they also have specific animation, not really animation states, but like
they act differently because that was a one-time. It's now not animating, so it shows you can't with it anymore. But with the toggle, when you hit the toggle, it's still going to rotate because it tells you that you can hit it again. It's just like a subtle thing to say, like, yeah, you can still hit this. And then with the timer one, it's going to do that, and then it's not going to animate until the timer runs out, and then it will go back to animating.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's something else that I did. And then there's the form changer thing off to the side that I've added / also updated as well.
Can I help you?
No.
I want 2 number 5s.
2 number 5s.
I want a number 9, a number 9 large.
The form changer over there.
Yep. Oh yeah, right here.
I have essentially remodeled the monitor, gave it an animation, new materials. Well, new material on the screen, updated materials slightly for the rest of it, along with the pulls.
Are you gonna add the big blue button? We probably will. That will probably be a thing in the next update whenever we go through and like
oh yeah,
include a bunch more
it's in the
stage
files
objects and stuff.
It's in the files. It just needs It needs a bit of work, to be honest, because its animations were a bit weird, if I remember correctly. But like I say, I'll get around to improving it later.
Did you guys custom make the Big Hero's purple egg pawn? The egg hammer? Yeah, Reese made that using assets from the egg pawn.
Yeah, I got the egg pawn, scaled it up, remodeled a bunch of it, and well, it's not a retexture essentially. It's just using the egg pawn materials, but like unwrapped in certain ways to kind of help it make it look like that, and then using the custom color system with the egg pawn's materials, I just made it purple.
Oh, the egg hammer's a
It doesn't.
captain.
Yeah, it doesn't spawn with the hammer because the egg hammer might not be in the next update. Like the next release.
We'll include the assets for it, but it's not going to be functional.
It's not It's not going to be as functional as we need it because it only has its walking animation and notice animation.
Yeah, there's a little taunt animation as well.
Well, yeah, that's his notice.
What is the speed monitor? Currently, it doesn't do anything. These are just assets that are currently in here. We might something with it. It could act as an alternative version of this gate. This gate here acts as a
character barrier.
Yeah, which another thing, this here is technically a button barrier. Well, this one here is a character gate. And the only difference between the two really was the fact that these could be activated by switches, but these could not. But that's another change I went ahead and did. These character gates are, for all intents and purposes, equally as functional as the button barriers. But with extra functionality. The main thing about these barriers is they can block specific characters or character types.
We need to update its material so it's easier to define the two because they look identical. They need to be different.
Yeah. So technically, in all intents and purposes, it's functionally the same as the button. It's just got extra functionality. So. Or what you can do is you can tell it to block, like, if it only allows one type. So, in this case, instead of blocking all speed characters, it will not allow anyone that isn't a speed character. So, Tails isn't a speed character, so he can't go through. Versus if I swapped it to a flight character, now it will go through. Because it's only allowing flight characters.
Oh, me.
And I added an extra functionality where it can block all period, so it doesn't matter what setting you have it set to, it will always block everything. So if you wanted to block everything no matter what, you can do so. Or if you only wanted to like block one type or only allow one type, you can do so. And it can be activated via button switch, so if I and then put the button in the objects as well. Let's copy this, paste here.
Knuckles should deal more damage to enemies, I believe. I don't know if that's actually a thing we have coded in, if he deals an extra tick of damage or not.
Based on what?
Just damaging.
Oh, with
like if Knuckles just attacks, does he deal more than one hit damage?
No.
I thought he did.
I don't believe so. The whole shtick with Knuckles is the fact that he can deal instances of damage more effectively in a close range. So yeah, that's only one tick of damage. But there I was able to like deal essentially 4 ticks of damage really quickly. Versus if I like used a speed character, I'd have to home attack him or do other like combos to deal that much damage. Versus Knuckles, I'm able to deal that much damage through my basic attack. Knuckles can deal a lot more damage with his other moves though. He has moves that deal much more damage per instance than other characters do. So things like his deep impact can deal quite a bit of damage. His drill, I think, does quite a bit of damage as well. Of
What
course,
else
there's
is
also
there?
his Nope. There's also his knuckle slam move, like so.
Oh, there's the things I've done with the egg flappers
Oh yes, the egg flappers.
in
So
the combat room over here.
we've got different egg flappers now.
I have finally gotten around to implementing all of the attachments.
Yep. These egg flappers use the new enemy AI, and you can set them to be different modes. We've got the standard mode. We've got the needle mode. There's the gun mode,
Cannon,
cannon mode. We also got a bomb mode, search mode,
search,
and a laser mode. The only ones that are functional, I think, are the search and the needle.
and search for now.
Technically, none of these others are functional. I don't know how difficult it will be to get these two functioning. Maybe these will be pretty easy to function. No clue about the other one either. Maybe this one will be easy, maybe this one will be hard.
Okay, essentially for that one, you just need to put a hitbox underneath it at all times.
Yeah.
For its length. The bomb one, just essentially the bomb that it drops needs to deal damage when it explodes.
Which, the bomb it drops... Currently, explosions cannot deal damage to the player at the moment. Like,
yeah, it needs to have like a custom one.
The explosion damage code we use for, say, Tails' bomb is brand new, unique explosion code that doesn't affect the player yet. And once it does affect the player, this bomb flapper will essentially just be functional again. We'll just have to like include other things like, oh, how frequently does it drop bombs, or what type of bomb does it drop, or you know. That kind of stuff shouldn't be too difficult. This one here theoretically shouldn't be too difficult to get. You just gotta rotate its mesh properly. So hopefully it shouldn't be too difficult.
We've got all these attachments in for the flappers now, but there might be a possibility with this update, depending on how easy it'll be, that they might not function this update. Just for like time's sake, because we are wanting to try and get this this update out this month.
Yeah, we want to get it out by the end of the month. I'm already going back to work this week, so the amount of time I'm going to have to work on the project will decrease. And then I've got a vacation trip, family trip I'm going at the beginning of next month, which means I won't be able to do much work.
Yeah.
Starting June anyway.
Like I say, they might not function, but they are like the meshes are in there, so if people want to try and get them functioning, then obviously they'll have the project files that can easily get it functioning.
Yep. I don't think this one is. Yeah, that one's not currently functional. The spike one won't be too difficult because all we gotta do is simply spawn a hitbox and despawn a hitbox. Yeah. Like that's all we gotta do. However, the searchlight does function. I just realized what that red light is. The little red light.
Oh, it's Eggman.
It's Eggman.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you have. Isn't it the one outside? You have to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the searchlight is functioning.
The searchlight is completely functional. So I'm inside of an enemy spawner area here. However, the enemies won't actually spawn until I get caught by the searchlight. Like so. Bonk. Say what?
Robot Storm from Sonic Heroes.
Yeah.
Did.
So yeah, the search version of the egg pawn is completely functional. And like you saw earlier, there was an egg pawn moving around. We don't actually have movement code for flying enemies. But we do have what's called a track, an enemy track.
Press G.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right here.
Yeah.
This enemy track, you can assign it an enemy, and as well as like rotation offset, whether it rotates the object or not. We got to set a speed for it yet, but essentially once you assign it...
It's kind of difficult to get that set up because it's working on a timeline.
once we get it set, then all that really needs to happen is, you know, the paired actor will rotate around the spline system that you set up. So you can also tell it to not be a closed loop if you don't want. Which case, I think, doesn't it just get to the end and then reach, like, turn around, go the other way?
It
Or
doesn't yet. It needs to though. I'll have to like try and get around to adding that code so
we
you can do just
have
like pure patrol.
code elsewhere that handles something like that, so it shouldn't be too difficult to do that. Honestly, I should be able to look at the. Remember that one test spline I had created for testing like spline tracking?
Yes. I remember which one you want.
There's code in that I can just repurpose for that. That should theoretically function so that it will go around a loop as well as turn around, and you should be able to like adjust the speed of it as well because it doesn't run on a timer; it runs on a tick.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, that new respawn particle's been a thing for a little while, but yeah, it's much better than the bubble.
yeah.
That we were using before. It's obviously meant to look like the heroes respawn.
So, as you probably might have noticed earlier, this motherfucker would not leave me alone, and he was shooting at me.
Yeah. We're in the early stages. Well, I say early stages. It's kind of like the mid stages now of getting the new AI to work with the shooting behavior.
Yep. This enemy here is part of the new enemy AI. It was a little bit of a bitch getting him set up to actually, you know, shoot at me. Get the rotation set up properly, but they will now shoot at you. There's still some bugs and issues to be fixed with them, but the new enemies can actually shoot at you now. And even though we don't have it set up quite yet, we do have the blackboard that is used to track the enemy's location and stuff and like their attack position. That is set up for other weapons. So for egg pawns with a lance or those egg fighters with their sword, that is properly set up to track those kinds of things.
Another thing with this update as well is there might be a possibility, again, depends on how easy it'll be to get them all set up, but there might be a possibility that only really the egg pawns and egg flappers are the only functional enemies. Beetle, like the gun beetle, should be pretty simple to set up again.
Yeah, gun beetles will be pretty simple. Hopefully, I don't think the gun hunter should be too difficult. They don't currently have any movement system, like movement capabilities. We don't have any animations for them moving, so we'll have to probably make a quick adjustment to prevent them from walking. But hopefully, them actually shooting won't be that big of a deal because.
So, like we say, like there might be a possibility that it might not happen. Like these might not be 100% functional, but again, just depends on if we can get around to trying to like implement them and if it's nice and simple.
Yeah. You can put an item box set like an adventure. You mean like that one? What is going on with the homing attack now? Do these not have the tag? These may not have the proper tag.
Oh wait, the new one? No, they should. They should have it. So.
Or they do have it. There's just something going on with it.
Homing attack's going funny.
Ah, god damn it. I don't remember adjusting any of the homing attack code, so why is it on the fritz? That doesn't make sense. I'll have to look at it. Actually, I did make adjustments to it a long while ago, but that shouldn't have affected anything, I don't think. But I will look into it. Let's see here. What else was there on the list to look at? The default character gravity has been changed. That's not what I wanted.
2.
Yeah. The default character gravity in Vanilla Infinity Engine, the default character gravity, I think, was 1.8. And one of the first things we did whenever we was going in with the... Or whenever we moved over and retitled ourselves to Infinity Plus, we updated the gravity from 1.8 to 3. So the characters were a lot less floaty. They actually, like, fell down to the ground relatively quickly. You didn't have to worry about, like, feeling like you could soar to the air forever because you would fall down to the ground a little more quicker. But even still, apparently some people thought that the gravity was still too high or still too low, so we increased the gravity to 3.5. We did have it to 4. But a gravity of 4 felt too restrictive. Like, it just felt a little more difficult to do some platforming jumps than it needed to be, so we moved it to 3.5. It feels a little bit better this way. So hopefully this gravity will be a lot better. Can Lightning Shield already attract the what? Are you talking about the rings? Because that's your question, and the answer is yes. They can already attract rings. Another thing is silver.
He's had a little bit added to him.
Yeah. So real quick, we'll look at Tails, because just a few days ago, I think like 2 days ago, Emmanuel managed to get in a few changes while he was in the middle of finals and stuff. The free flight code has been nerfed, obviously. It's nowhere near as powerful as it used to be. And it actually feels a little bit better to control. Your pitch is a little bit more realistic. Like if you try and pitch up, Tails will automatically even out, and if you try to pitch down, Tails will automatically even out as well. Like so. That wasn't me trying to adjust it, that was Tails automatically adjusting it. You also don't have to hold the button to fly anymore. Like, you can just hold it to initiate the flying, and then you can let go if you want. Like so. And of course, you can still cancel it by pressing the crouch button. Like so. Going to be a little higher, I think it's low. We're gonna leave the jump how it is. If people want to change it, they can change it. The jump, in actuality, is about as high as it used to be. I made sure to make adjustments to the jump based on the gravity. So characters can actually still jump at the same height that they used to before we changed the gravity. The jump just feels lower because you're being pulled down to the ground faster. So, in actuality, the actual height itself has not changed because I made sure to account for that. But you're just pulled down to the ground a little bit faster, so it feels a little bit lower than it actually is. So the free flight has been adjusted so that it's a little less powerful, doesn't last quite as long, and I think he went through and like variabilized a lot of things. And we went ahead and obviously already did it for Silver. Silver could use the free flight, which we showed off last time, but another thing we included into Silver is a unique stamina meter. That will...
I designed that as well.
Yep, so we got a new stamina meter for Silver. It isn't perfect. Silver can still fly for like a little bit after it's completely empty, but that's just due to how Unreal handles those
yeah, I think
gradients.
it's Unreal's gradients. It's either that or it's just how the masking is working. Like, it's still actually draining, but it's draining off screen.
Yep. Silver used to play the same like flight animation that Tails did. Or not animation, sound effect that Tails did, but he doesn't do that anymore. Instead, he'll just play his own animation. I don't know why he just dropped off the rock out of it. That's kind of weird. But only sometimes. I think it has to do with the angle in which you leave.
Yeah, I feel like pitching down, I would imagine.
Well, you then remove the boost bar on the bottom left. The boost bar is supposed to track your psychokinesis, how many items you can pick up and throw and stuff. It's not currently properly tracking it. I don't know if we'll get that fixed before the update. Hopefully we will. But that's what the boost meter on the bottom left is actually supposed to track, is your psychokinesis.
Yeah, the boost meter on the bottom corner is going to get updated for silver. It's going to have a slightly different look, and obviously it's not going to say boost.
Yeah, it's not going to say boost efficiency.
Probably going to do like a similar style to what his stamina bar is, but like horizontally for him, for his psychokinesis.
So we're not going to remove it. We are going to have to repurpose it though. It will probably look different.
But silver is going to be updated more next update. Yeah. Him and somebody else are getting the main treatment at least.
Yep, the next update is going to focus on
a lot of polishing, essentially, and adding a lot of polishing to stuff we've neglected, like silver, and adding some final gimmicks, because we're pretty much getting to the point where we're getting to the final update now. Next update is either likely going to be the final update, or it's going to be like the second to final.
Yeah, if we do have an update after this next update,
it'll most likely just be a big polish.
Yeah, this next update will be update 5. If we end up having to go with an update 6, the update 6 is probably going to be really, really small. Probably just going to have like a bunch of adjustments, a bunch of changes, patches, fixes, as well as some new features. Like there's going to be some minor new features with it. Yeah. If we end up going with an update 6, hopefully we won't have to. Hopefully we can get everything patched up in update 5. Hopefully is the keyword.
Yeah, because we've got like on this board here, the Shadow Blaze and Metal Sonic have been like kind of neglected with the combat. They function just like Sonic, but a lot of stuff needs updating with them, like their meshes, rigs, along with Sonic's, and probably just a few visual things to make them a bit more visually distinct in their combat.
Yeah,
and that's essentially what's going to happen with those three with the next update. And then the main two characters of the next update are Whisper and Silver.
Yep. Seeing
how Silver got kind of neglected this update, he was going to be a big part of this update, but we've just had too much too much to work on.
We bit off a little bit more than we could chew in this next update. We've already worked on it for like...
Time is broken again.
Timer is broken.
We need to pay attention to what's causing that.
I think there might be something causing the time.
I can rewatch the stream, see when it happens. But
Emma Zane, how are you doing today? Thank you for stopping by. As a Twitch, thought you only had YouTube. We upload all of the dev streams to YouTube for archiving reasons, and people who don't catch the Twitch streams can also watch them on YouTube. So, are you guys adding Mighty? Mighty and Whisper will be what's called, not Whisper, Mighty and Honey will be called plus pack characters.
Yes, they are only going to be worked on after the framework is complete. And they are not going to be part of the framework. That's what a plus pack character is. I think some people get confused with it. They think it's, I don't know, like they think it's some sort of like paid thing, but it's not. No way it would be. It's when we say plus pack, it's just like it's extra stuff you can download to add to the project.
Yeah.
Like to add to your projects if you want.
We're not doing any paid thing. It's like, just to clarify that, we would never do any paid thing. That would be dumb. But just to clarify with the name, plus pack does not mean like a package you pay for or anything like that. It's just an additional couple of files that you can download if you so desire. That includes Whisper and Mighty. That Honey and Mighty that we will officially be working on and releasing. And
one.
We will once Honey is done. Actually, once we get this next update out, what we'll probably end up doing is once we get update 5 out and we begin working on Honey and Mighty, that's when we'll start holding polls for the plus pack mystery character. And people will be able to vote for their character however they want, or whichever character they want. There is obviously going to be some restrictions to that. We're not going to be doing Archie characters, unfortunately.
It's mainly just going to be game characters. It's just going to be any game character that we have not added.
Yep. Already has Widespring. Yes, we already have the Widespring. Whisper is the only comic character that we have added, and we're only adding her on a technicality. She is meant to be a stand-in for Gadget, the custom character from Forces. We're not going to be including Tangle or Starline or anything like that, so no IDW characters either. So
Tangle would have been fun to do, but we just decided on Whisper because it's essentially a stand-in for OC.
I would love to add Tangle, but I want to be fair to the Archie fans. If we're not going to be, adding Archie characters, then I don't see any reason to be adding IDW characters. Whisper is the only exception to this rule.
Is that bias as shit?
I think the cast is near perfect. Yeah, we don't want to be adding like a fuck ton of characters.
There's no need to add any more, really, besides like those plus pack ones.
Yeah, and these plus pack characters were characters that we weren't really planning on adding in the full version anyway. They're just like, oh yeah, it would be fun to like create a modernized version of these characters, like a modernized moveset and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have Whisper's Mesh already? We do, actually. We do have some assets for Whisper.
Yes, it's not 100% finished her mesh. It's wait, no, that isn't it. I think that one's it. No, go to a blueprint. It's the easiest thing.
In her blueprint.
Yeah, just go to a blueprint, then go to a mesh, and then
yeah, it's this one.
Right, so it is that one. Yeah, there we go.
We do have a
Whisper mesh.
A Whisper mesh. Even got little colors for the little capsules.
Yes, which are almost set up, I think, to be dynamically changeable.
The only two things that need to be done with this model are obviously those capsules need to be adjusted a little bit, and her cape. Her cape is a bitch.
The cape is becoming a huge problem.
This
I might have to just hand animate the cape.
We really, really don't want to hand animate the cape, but we can't get the cloth physics to properly work with it, and it just causes so many issues.
Hmm.
This is a really nice model. This is an adjusted model. We didn't build it from scratch. Reese took some models.
There was a model somewhere. I can't remember exactly how I got it now.
Wasn't it an old Nabrak model?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
Nabrak hasn't posted his Whisper model. I got the inspiration from his model. I was looking at his model when I was modeling that one. But essentially, I found an old Whisper model somewhere, and I pretty much have took the entire thing apart and rebuilt it, so it's practically built from the ground up. Almost.
Almost. There are some assets that are used, like her tail is Tails' tail, but adjusted and what's the word I'm looking for?
No, it's Tails' tail.
Retopologized, like retopologized.
Remodeled slightly. Her head is Blaze's head, I believe, which has been heavily modified now.
Yeah, she's got her own snoot.
The hands come from either Amy or Blaze. I think they might have came from Blaze as well, but like they've been edited.
Her torso is an adjusted Rouge model?
Like, no, I think it's an adjust. Actually, if I remember correctly, that's one of the original bits.
Her torso?
I think.
I know her butt isn't. We had to.
Wow.
We had to surgically remove Rouge's butt and place it on Whisper.
The only reason we did that, it sounds weird.
Is
but the only reason we had to do that is because the topology on the original was really bad.
So bad. It was like irreparably bad. So you had to like.
I would have spent more time fixing that than just getting another behind from someone else.
You just had to mention her butt, didn't you? Yeah, that's because it's like one of the main things. Like I remember I was watching Reese work on it and the topology. I'm not super familiar with models. Reese is way more familiar with model work than I am. But even I could tell the topology on that was really, really bad. It was just so bad that Reese had to replace it. So yeah, Whisper, good chunks of it's original. Other chunks of it are repurposed parts of other characters.
It even has like a target thing on the top right there. You see that slider on the top right?
Yes.
That's to move her bang out of the way. So if you like drag it forward, yeah, it goes weird with compiling. But that's like when she's got her mask on, that can change.
So you can like set it to like -1 whenever she's got her mask on, or what was it, 1?
It's just 1 to like make it
yeah,
to go back to the normal.
I thought it was 0. I thought 0 was normal.
0, yeah, 0's without it on. 1 is with it on.
So with 1, the bang parts forward, so the mask can.
Yeah, so the mask doesn't like clip through it too much.
Yeah, so it can sit on top of the mask. Can normal rings be attracted like Sonic Utopia? The normal rings are already attract. Like if you stand close up to them, they attract.
No, it isn't the Sonic Forces speed battle model.
No,
because that's it's very low poly.
Yeah,
it's a good model though. Like
we did actually get that model
upgraded. Yeah, I've got it, and I have the Tangle model, which I've upgraded to look more HD as well, which it looks pretty cool when I upgraded it.
Yep. Let's see here. I think that's most of everything that we've worked on.
It's most of the new.
Oh, one really small minor thing. There is a interface that buttons use. It's called the BPI button event interface.
Pardon me.
Any object that we currently by default have that uses the button interface can now actually interact with more than one object. What it used to do is like on event fire whatever, it will fire a button event that will then tell whatever is connected to it or whatever you have connected to it via interface to fire this event. It used to only be one actor. Now it's an array of actors. You can go through an entire list of actors to activate with a single switch if you want to. So this switch right here, if I wanted it to, instead I could tell it to interact with all 3 of these switches instead. I hit it, it'll hit all 3 instead of just the 1. So that's a minor thing I did. That's more of a like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a quality of life thing, so you don't have to have like a whole bunch of activatable switches and stuff. And that's the same thing with this here. The enemy spawner can affect multiple actors, and it can also be affected by an actor. So you can have multiple ways of activating an enemy spawner. Originally what it was using this sphere trace, whatever the character would overlap it would spawn in the actors. Now we have it so that like is interface activate. If you turn that on, it will wait until an interface event calls to activate the spawner instead, and that interface is activated by this egg pawn. The egg pawn, whenever you overlap with the light, the egg pawn goes, oh, you've overlapped with the light, let me call this interface call, and
egg flapper,
whatever. In the list somewhere in here.
What?
Supposed to interact with.
It's not at the top. You're in the sky sphere.
I am in the sky sphere. So yeah, you can actually connect egg flappers to interactable objects now that use the button event.
Yeah, so you could also like attach an enemy to a just a box, like like a box if need be.
Yeah. So currently I have the same thing with this enemy spawner. If I really wanted it to, this enemy linker could also have multiple affected actors. So currently it interacts with the goal ring, but it can also interact with like that thing over there or whatever,
There's many ways to link things up to other things now.
Yeah, it's very dynamic on how you can interlink objects and have them interact with each other. A lot of interesting ways you can do that. I'm gonna go sleep now. Have a good night. All right. Well, thank you for stopping by, Sparkle Gem. Never seen how this entire thing gets made. It looks like pretty animating, but 1,000 times harder. Do you guys actually enjoy making this engine? Like, I would assume is very much a side project. Well, considering I've had nothing to do all lockdown.
Same.
I've spent a large majority of my time over lockdown working on the project. It is enjoyable. Like, I do enjoy working on the project. There is burnout, and I do get burnt down on occasion.
We have been burnt out recently with this. This is why we're really just wanting to get this update out, because we've spent so much time on this update now that, like, we're tired of doing the same things now. We need to move on to something else. Like, we're excited to try and start coding for Whisper in the next update and getting Silver finished up more.
Yeah.
But we know we've had to do other stuff, and we've just been burnt out doing it.
Yeah, this update, we are specifically burnt out on this update. We, like, normally every update of Infinity Plus has a development cycle of about 3 to 4 months. This one has had a year. We haven't released, in fact, 6 days from now, next Sunday will mark the 1-year anniversary of the release of the 3 and Knuckles update.
It feels so weird. It just doesn't feel right, but it's true.
We released update 3 and Knuckles. Let me double check on my YouTube channel here. No, I'm sorry, not next Sunday. It'll be next Tuesday. Next Tuesday will be the 1-year anniversary of the 3 and Knuckles update. It has been an entire year since we've released an update. We've worked on the Colorful Combat update for so long.
We are definitely not hoping that the next update will take that long.
So,
okay. I was just gonna say the main reason this update has took this long is because essentially we've had to take everything apart and rebuild it.
Yeah, there's a lot of restructuring, a lot of rebuilding.
The characters had to be completely taken apart essentially and rebuilt for the classes. The enemies had to be completely torn apart and essentially made anew with the behavior trees.
We reworked a lot of objects to use interfaces instead.
Yeah, a lot of object interfaces.
The homing attack code had to be reworked for like the 3rd fucking time to include the combat, and then we had to completely design and then implement, model, and animate all of the combat abilities for like Sonic and Knuckles and Tails. So, to be completely honest, Tails has been the easiest in terms of like the model and animation design part. Tails has been the easiest.
Yeah, we were stuck on him for ages, but once we got like down to it, it's been very easy.
Damn, how long have you guys been working on this in total? And you guys are the only 2 working on this. It's incredibly impressive. We're not the only 2 working on this. We have been working on Infinity Plus for 2 years now. Because let me double check here.
Almost becoming 3 years, I think, this year.
Yeah, I started recruiting. When did I start recruiting?
Wasn't it April?
Oh, 2 years ago. April 6th of 2019. That's when I started recruiting. And roughly around the end of April was whenever we got the team together and we started working on it. So April, almost May of 2019 is when we started working on Infinity Plus. I started working on Infinity Engine before then. I worked on it after it originally released in February 2019. But this specific update has been for an entire year. And no, me and Reese are not the only ones that work on it. We have Emmanuel. He is one that helps work, who helps to work on it quite a bit.
Yeah, he does a lot of coding.
Between the 3 of us, I would argue Emmanuel is the best coder out of all 3 of us. He just He's a lot better at math than both of us combined are, for one.
2 + 2 = 5.
Emmanuel's much better at math. I would argue that I've gotten a lot better at coding over the past like year and a half. And of course,
I've gotten a lot more better at modeling and animating in the past year.
We also had Hess. Hess started out with us for about a year, and then he disappeared due to personal life reasons. I tried checking up on him, seeing how he was doing, and he never answered me, so hopefully he's doing all right. And then Koenji joined in for a little bit, and then he got sidetracked on other projects. So for the most part, this Colorful Combat update was almost solely worked on by 3 people. Me, Reese, and Emmanuel.
Yep.
2
2 + 2 was fish, though. Damn it, you're right.
I mean, asking because I'm working a project like animation, either really into or burnt out. So just checking how you guys are holding up. Guys, is there any chance when Infinity Plus is done, you guys make your own fan game with the framework? I know Emmanuel wants to make a fan game, and you said you wanted to make a fan game.
Yeah,
With it.
I want to see what I can do with the engine I've spent like practically 2 years on.
I do not. I don't want to make a fan game. There are a few select levels I want to make. I want to make a port of Rooftop Run. Like, I want to properly port Rooftop Run from Generations into Infinity Plus and actually have it functional. Yeah. I would like to do that. I would like to. I don't know if I will do this one. I'd like to make Glass Castle. That's a level I've always wanted to make. I don't know if I will.
You had that concept like on a stream ages ago, didn't you?
Yeah, Glass Castle is a level I would like to make, and then there's also Eggman Land. Someone challenged me to port. I don't know if they challenged me to port or make an Eggman Land, like Sonic Unleashed Eggman Land in Infinity Plus. Someone challenged me to do it. And I would like to do it, because I'm sadistic, but
and we keep talking about making Kaizo levels.
Yeah, I would love to make a Kaizo level too. That would be something cool to make. But the charge homing attack, is they going to touch? Does not move? No, you can still move while charging a homing attack. We're probably going to reduce how much you can move so you don't like abuse it, but actually, no, that's not charging. I think you could do that while doing a homing chain. You can move.
No, it wasn't blast. It was glass.
Glass,
like,
as in, a window.
Like a wine glass.
An entire castle made of paned glass.
You've heard of a glass cannon. This is a glass castle.
I would like to make a fantasy-styled castle made entirely out of... Is it paint or stained glass? It's stained glass, I think.
Yeah, stained glass.
Any chance you guys add follow AI, either like in the older games where Tails just follows you, or like in Heroes where you can switch characters anytime? We do actually kind of sort of have it.
It's what I'm trying to implement. It's somewhere buried in the code. I don't know if it's functional at this moment in time.
Probably not.
But I did try and implement it a while ago, but then I just decided to drop it for now because we had bigger stuff we needed to work on. But it is something I want to try and get in. So it's something that I might focus on a lot in the next update. To try and at least get basic follow AI. It might not be like Heroes where they'll auto attack and stuff. I might be able to make it so you can switch characters like Heroes, but just trying to get them to follow is just gonna be my main thing, because that's gonna be it's gonna be kind of difficult because obviously Sonic games aren't regular platformers. They've got a lot of loops and crazy geometry that you have to work with, which AI does not enjoy without heavy modification. So it's something I'm going to look into, but I can't 100% guarantee that that's going to be a thing.
Yeah, we might have, in the 1.0 release, we might have, a very basic version of it, so that way if people want to do something with it themselves, they can. But I'm not going to sit here and guarantee that we're going to have fully functional follower AI. I don't know about a heroes type thing. I know a lot of people have constantly asked over and over again for a heroes type swapping mechanic. That's probably not going to happen. I'm not really super interested in getting that included. But if we can get the follower AI to function, maybe. I would say there's like maybe a 10% chance we might do some hero swapping shit. But don't fucking, like, you know, place your bets on that. don't do that. We did have a hero styled follower AI though. Like, we had it so that like 2 characters would follow you, but it, like you said, it was very basic.
It was very basic, and I think it broke last time. I think it's just a variable in the instance that you turn on, if I remember correctly now. Is it one that isn't categorized? Dynamic, short hit collisions, game input, new.
List of characters, not in game info, testing variables. Not in the character selected. Level info?
New.
I'm not seeing it anywhere.
No.
Could have sworn it was somewhere.
I thought it should have been in here because
Yeah, I thought it was.
it's. Actually, is it the game mode that handles spawning? It's either the game mode or it's going to be the level blueprint. Game mode. And then
Spawn follower.
Spawn followers. That's it. Spawn follower. I think if you tick that, I think it'll work, but it might give you errors after the fact.
Hey!
There we are. They don't function perfectly though. Like, they're very snappy with what they do, and they only ever specifically go to a certain position. Yeah, he's gonna run. Are you okay?
Are you okay?
I think the stream's dying.
I think that's just your end. The stream's working on my end just fine. Reese might be dead. Yep, Reese is dead. he'll be back in a little bit. Taylor will be able to get a right to other character? Probably not. You don't need that because the game is already really fun to control with just one character. Yeah, we there's no guarantee that we're gonna do like follow character stuff, but they don't follow perfect, not either. Yeah, they don't function as intended. Period.
I'm back. Yeah, my thing died. But no, like I was trying to say before I died. Yeah, they obviously don't function properly at all. They want to stick to a very specific point on the character, and it doesn't matter what way you rotate, they'll always stick to that specific point. It's very weird.
Very strange.
Yeah. Again, it's
it needs to be a point relative to the player character is what it is.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be, but it just didn't. But again,
of course, they'll also try and do their mid-air abilities if you jump in mid-air.
Yeah, because they copy. They've been told to copy your jump input. Sonic's went outside. Like that's outside of the nav mesh.
Yeah, they have to have a nav mesh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, they're dead.
I think I've learned a better way to do it. You can attach a nav mesh to the characters.
That is. Although, hold on. Selected characters. Let's go like.
Yeah, it takes the list here for selected characters. Oh no.
Let's go with the only obvious team. There we go. Perfect team. This is the best team of all time.
They should all be able to glide together. Roll out. The gravity is different though to the main character. Knuckles and Knuckles and Knuckles. I think they'll all latch onto a wall as well. if you like ran up to a wall. Oh, you need to be a bit closer when you do it. Yeah. They ain't gonna do anything though.
Why does Knuckles have that jump ball effect like the other characters? Oh, why doesn't
you guys
Knuckles?
did this before.
Yeah, we did it with 3 bigs before.
Yeah, the 3 bigs. The 3, the council.
Knuckles
when
has
the
same
shading
jump
was
ball.
like really big.
Doesn't he? Is Knuckles missing a jump ball or something?
No, it's the exact same jump ball. There might be the there's like one particle effect that's turned off for Knuckles because it's more of like a soul blade looking thing for Sonic. There we are, the classic team.
Also, Tails cannot jump higher than other characters. This is just a gravity situation where these follow characters have a different gravity. Tails cannot actually jump higher. As interesting as that would be, they cannot do that.
It's just the classic colors. I love seeing those 3 colors together.
The UI has no fucking clue what to do. I just realized.
Yeah, yeah. Because obviously it's spawning every character, so it stacks every time. So the UI is just freaking out. It's like, what the fuck's going on?
Because we're Sonic heroes.
The spinball effect. I think it's going to be the one from Unleashed. It's an original thing that came with Infinity. It's been edited though, so like, especially when you're rolling, it has the Binacles. It has the solid version from Forces to kind of make it look like adventure. Bye, Tails.
Oh, there he goes. So yeah.
So yeah, that was a thing I was messing around with, but it's not going to be a functioning feature.
We'll probably keep it in this update for people to mess around with if they want. I don't really want to take the time to remove it. We've already got other shit we got to remove. So.
I mean, it could be the Unleashed one. It's just I don't know. It just came with Vanilla Infinity Engine.
Yeah, a lot of these are repurposed or adjusted Vanilla Infinity assets. But yeah, we did it with Big before. I think we showed off of Big's.
Multiplayer stuff again is another thing I have dropped working on for now because especially when we were reworking everything, it would have just made more problems to work on it sooner.
It's still something we want to do. It's still like a full version we want to do.
Of course, 3 bigs.
It's the best characters.
Oh yeah, they're running animation.
It's not weird to look at all. Never did this with the new running animations I made for him.
This is what Froggy fears.
Froggy! This is what you see in your nightmares.
The last thing you hear before you...
Just watching them like... Meow.
When they're like tilting, like aeroplanes.
Meow. 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 God. God damn it. The Council of Bigs will judge you now.
This is what we spend our spare time doing.
You will be judged by the Council of Bigs.
I did the walk. Did you do the idol, or did I also do the idol? Because I know I did the walk animation for Big.
I think I did the idol.
Hmm.
I don't remember who did the idol.
I think you did. And
yeah,
you did run. And I just did the walk animation for him.
Yeah, Reese did the walk, and then I did this run animation. It doesn't properly transition.
Yeah, the feet don't like to transition for some weird reason, but...
I actually like this run animation. I think it's really good.
Mm. He's hauling. Oh, they must have gone out of bounds.
You guys gotta add Big to Infinity Plus. Like, just give him something. Big is in the old debug room. He's hidden somewhere in the old debug room. Not.
I mean, did you not see the leaked demo that
Oh yeah,
Overtime got?
yeah, the leaked demo that we released like 2 years ago.
Somebody leaked. I don't know who. God.
I still find it
Why
weird that
doesn't
those
he-
are Big's feet and not socks. Yeah, those are his actual feet.
Wait, so like, yeah, so the multiplayer stuff again. Yeah, multiplayer. I don't know if I finished it. I just dropped it for now because we had other stuff we needed to work on. It's something again. I'm probably gonna. I'm definitely wanting to look into the next update, but not this update.
Why
So
does Big run like that? Okay, animating Big is hard.
he's got really short legs, so it's very hard to make a convincing walk, run, or jog cycle for him.
Big's his design is just really difficult. He has like no knees. Look at his legs.
And you don't want to see tall Big, because I have already brought that upon Fizz's memory, and he hates me for it.
Tall Big is something that
It's too scary to behold.
Oh, this is the old run animation.
Oh,
This here was
yeah,
his
but
old run that we made.
That isn't the true run animation for him. I think it's the test walk 1 on the bottom. Yeah, there we go. That's his true running animation that we had.
That's Big's running animation. You can't speed Big's running animations up, or else you get this. So if you want to animate Big running, you got to get creative with it, which is why I created these animations.
Is there anything functional for multiplayer in Free and Knuckles? If you try and spawn a second player, does the FPS drop? 5 and nothing works. I think the option's still in the Free and Knuckles build for multiplayer, but it just does not function in the slightest. Did we?
Yeah, we removed it for 3 Knuckles.
Well, is it not still in the code? I would imagine it would still have been in the code.
No, I'm pretty sure we completely removed it.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I'm 90% sure we completely.
The multiplayer, it works. It just
it doesn't.
Yeah, like
it does and it doesn't.
It doesn't lower the frame rate too much because me and Fizz actually played the multiplayer online using a third-party software.
Yeah, we used Hamachi to. No, we didn't use Hamachi.
It's not Hamachi. It was Parsec.
We used Parsec to connect.
Basically, just doing local multiplayer, but over the internet.
Yeah, it was local online essentially.
Yeah.
Infinity Plus does not have online multiplayer. It has local multiplayer that we played online using Parsec, and
it worked. It worked quite well from what I remember when we last tried that out.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, actually, at one point in time, we actually almost got everything like functioning really well. Like for the most part, everything looked pretty good. There were obvious issues, but multiplayer was in a pretty good state at one point. It's just no longer in that state because
of all of the changes we've done to the character and enemies.
Yeah,
but
we don't know.
It could spawn. It could spawn split screen. It could spawn 2 characters. It would always spawn an extra copy of a character for some reason. Though that was one of the main problems we had that we needed to try and.
A lot of the interactions did actually work too.
Yeah, there was quite a few of the interactions as well. There was some that didn't, but it's just because we neglected to look into them. And there was no multiplayer HUD, so the HUDs stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
Which, again, it's just something that wasn't too hard to remedy, but we didn't bother with it. So, like, multiplayer was almost there, but we had to put it aside. So, I mean, it's something that I'm mainly going to look into next update. I don't think that's a thing that you're going to prioritize, Fizz.
No, it's not something I'm going to prioritize.
So
I'm going to move on to, other than patches and fixes and stuff that we get notified for from people who use it, my next big focus will be Whisper.
Yeah, and what about the extra gimmicks we need to add as well? We need to still also add like cannons, pulleys, uh what else was there? Swing poles,
Zip lines,
zip lines. There's
a
a few
rocket,
more gimmicks. Yeah,
stage
right.
objects.
Yeah, there's a few more like stage objects gimmick things we need to add, which is next update stuff. So like that's gonna be where a bunch of the main content comes for the next update. It's gonna be all those, and then obviously the main focus of Whisper and Silver. So when people have asked that, like, yeah, we know we haven't got them in yet. We just need to prioritize.
Sonic Omens runs on original Infinity Engine, the one made by Oban, I think. Yeah, Oban made the original Infinity Engine. Omens runs on the Max and Atoms build of Vanilla Infinity that has been heavily modified and adjusted. It has some assets that come from Infinity Plus. We are credited, me, Reese, and Hess are all credited in Omens, but we didn't work on Omens. We're credited for donation work, and by donation work, they mean they took our work.
Well,
Which,
they've got the egg flappers in there.
Yeah. Which, I mean,
I know that's why I'm credited.
Our work is open source. Like,
yeah.
So they're allowed to take it. It's just we're credited for having created it.
Yeah. But yeah.
I don't really think there's anything else. Can Tails give rise to other characters? You already asked it, and I already said no. Tails will. Even once we get the partner characters working, the answer to that is probably still going to be no.
Yeah, I don't think I can get that kind of AI coded in. I can get them just to basically follow you.
It would be interesting to get that working for multiplayer, like local multiplayer. In that case, maybe we could maybe do that.
That's a huge maybe, though.
Yeah, a large majority of that is going to be on Tails' side of things. Actually getting all of the other characters to function with that won't be that huge of a deal. All you would have to do is go through everything and like gate check it. Like, hey, you're being carried right now. You can't do this, or whatever. All we would really have to do for all of the characters is gate checks and interrupt checks, which isn't that big of a deal. It would be a bit of work, but a large majority of that heavy lifting would be Tails.
Quite physically and ironically and physically, or whatever it's the saying.
Literally and physically.
That's it. Literally and physically. But as for stuff for this stream, I'm pretty sure we've gone over everything now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we have showed everything we've done.
Well, we've showed everything that we can show. There are other things that we've done that we can't show, because we don't want to spoil it.
Some of it, yeah. There's the stuff we did with the combat testing room, and then there is just back-end coding stuff, which isn't really
fun to look at.
Stuff we can show. It's like, even if we show it, it's like, it's not something visual, really.
Tails carrying two bigs, that would be funny.
Oh, God. It's mainly just like code cleanup stuff we've done and a bit more optimizing. We don't want to say like I mean, Infinity Plus is sort of optimized more now because of the whole LOD stuff we've done, and I'm slowly going for all the textures to try and reduce how many textures we've got. But yeah, there's just going to be some more like optimization.
One thing me and Emmanuel are going to do in the next update is, because Unreal has like optimization tracking tools, we're going to go through everything and like track the runtime and get things running better of like all the different actors and stuff like that. So hopefully update 5 will be like a major optimization pass, which when you think about it, relatively speaking, if you look at Vanilla Infinity, how it ran, and you look at Infinity Plus and how it runs, and you look at all the content in these two different frameworks, Infinity Plus has loads more content in it than Vanilla Infinity does. Yet vanilla or Infinity Plus runs about as smoothly, if not a little more smoothly than vanilla Infinity did. So when you think about it, relatively speaking, Infinity Plus is really well optimized in comparison to vanilla Infinity. Just in comparison to the sheer amount of content and things that run and function and stuff. So
Yeah, we're not saying though it's perfectly optimized.
no,
Definitely
it's not.
isn't. There's loads of things.
It's not perfectly optimized. I think it probably would. It might run a little better than Sonic Omens. Might. Heavy keyword is might.
Oh,
But we'll
I
have
drink
to
of
see about
water.
that. I need some more water. I'm out of water.
Get more
Effect
water.
of when you use the boost and the barrel decrease with the particle effect, like forces will add. Oh, you mean like the little particle effect that plays on the boost bar? That's something we would like to do, but I don't know if we will. It's not that big of a deal if we don't end up doing it, though.
That's like a polished thing towards the end, but I need to look into how you even do particles on the hood.
I would assume so, because it's called plus. I think the problem was you guys just have a ton of AI in the test map more than any Pancake would on a test stage, and might take the FPS down. I mean,
We normally have the enemies sub-leveled.
Yeah.
Like they're normally in sub-levels now. I mean, now this map doesn't have hardly as many in as it did originally.
Currently, my frame rate is jumping between 50 and 60 right now, and that's actually because of this menu. This menu actually drags the FPS down because it's running a bunch of numbers in real time.
Well, that menu's dragging it down, and you're also streaming to me on Discord, and you're streaming online.
Oh, am I still streaming to you on Discord?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been watching to keep up to date with you.
Oh, I forgot I'm still streaming on Discord. So yeah, this menu is dragging my frame rate down a little bit. I am streaming on Twitch, and I'm streaming on Discord, and yet I'm still reaching 60 FPS, and I'm playing this in editor in the Unreal Engine rather than an executable. So
It's it's cool.
meanwhile,
like when I run it on mine, I get nearly about. I think I get like 140 frames, but that's just because of my GPU. When my GPU wants to work with Unreal, because it really doesn't like Unreal.
if I hopped in here to stat FPS, yeah, you can see I'm actually getting on the top right corner. I'm getting like 70 FPS, 60 to 70 FPS with all of these enemies in here.
And technically, all the enemies have been upgraded to behavior trees.
Yeah.
Now, and behavior trees, I'm pretty sure, last time I checked, are cheaper than what we were doing before.
So yeah, with all these enemies in here, my frames will jump down to like, 60. But whenever I'm just standing out here, I've got like all those enemies are still running in the background. They just aren't being visibly drawn. So I'm getting 70, almost 80 FPS here.
So like, yeah. So that's like one of the main reasons we've upgraded the enemies behavior trees. They're more flexible, and I'm pretty sure they're more cheaper.
Yeah.
Last time I checked. I'm not 100% sure when I'm saying that. So there might be something where it's like, no, yeah, they're all more expensive. But last time I checked online and looked into it, it's cheaper than what we were doing. You guys get rid of the VR pop-up. Yeah, we did that ages ago.
We did that. The VR pop-up is gone for Infinity Plus. I don't know if we got that done for...
Knuckles.
Yeah, it wasn't done for the 3 and Knuckles update, but it is done now.
I thought it was done for the 3 and Knuckles. I thought it was.
It might have been. What it might be is it might be a editor preference, and in which case, if it is an editor preference, we can't fix that. That is something that the individual developer will have to fix, because we can save and we can push changes, and like whenever we upload the project files, there's a bunch of project settings that we can set, but we can't set specific editor settings for you. That is stuff that doesn't get saved with the project files. I don't believe it's a editor setting. I don't believe it is. I believe it's a project setting. So if it is, then we have fixed it, and you shouldn't be getting it anymore. But if it is an editor setting, then there's nothing we can do. I'll have to look into it again, but I'm pretty sure it's a project setting. Omens is pretty bad optimized too, and a lot of people are having problem with the OG. When you use boost, does it have speed tape on the screen? Are you talking about like speed lines?
It does have speed lines, yes.
I guess the speed lines.
It's part of the camera. It's kind of funny. So when like the camera pulls away and like goes to a different camera angle, you can actually see the speed lines.
There's something about the boost and the boost particle that's unoptimized, because if you set it to like consume the whole screen, your frames will drop significantly. Like I'm getting 70 frames out here, but whenever I zoom the camera in and like make Sonic take up a majority of it, it drops down pretty quickly.
That's weird. I don't remember it doing that before. Is it not also Sonic's like material?
Might be. We needed to get rid of that material.
Yeah, I know.
Material needs to be removed.
Like the speed line material for Sonic, so like when he's going fast, it starts like stretching. We were just testing that out a while ago for like a style thing, but we're just gonna remove it for now.
Yeah.
It's cool, but I think it doesn't fully work.
It makes Sonic look a little bit more like a blur.
It's a cool effect though.
It is a pretty cool effect. Watching Sonic run at high speed is so fun to me. I don't know what it is. It's so relaxing. Like I like watching Sonic run at like maximum speed.
Well, it looks like he's in his like zen, like he's in his flow.
Yeah.
It's just fun to watch things when they're in their like flow state.
So yeah, I don't think there's anything else that we really need to show off. We have shown off everything that we really need to. One thing we're going to be trying to get done in the next like 2 weeks is getting the egg pawns, getting these egg pawns functioning a little bit better with combat. We want to get their lance and their shields functioning. As soon as we get their shield functioning, that's a big one. As soon as we get their shields functional, then they will actually almost be ready. Getting the lance functioning won't be a big deal at all.
No,
bug testing the gun stuff, that'll take a little bit, but that's almost ready. The huge thing are shields right now. As soon as we can get these shields functional, these enemies are actually going to be almost ready, because shield interactions is a big part of how the players interact with the enemies, as well as like how the combat in general revolves around enemies, because shields do play a pretty big part in that. So once we get shields functioning, then then we'll be a lot closer to like getting ready to consider this ready, you know?
Yeah, enemies are kind of pretty much our final thing we're working on majorly.
Yeah.
And once they're fully, or not fully, but once they're in a good spot to us, we're pretty much getting ready to hand out the final product. But we are still going through QA testing, Fizz as well in the background, so we need to wait until we've had enough QA testing as well to make sure that as much of the major problems have been ironed out as possible, as like much as possible before we give our final release.
As with every release we've done, there's going to be a bunch of small bugs that will be inevitable. That's going to be something that we just cannot, you know, foresee. There's going to be a bunch of small issues everywhere, but hopefully we want to get as many of the big issues out of the way. And if we can like squash a bunch of small issues along the way, that would be great. But it's not going to be perfect. But hopefully with the QA testing, we can get a bunch of the huge issues out of the way. And once the huge issues are out of the way, then we can like really focus on getting things cleaned up and ready. The only other thing is here soon, I could probably start doing it today, or I can do it tomorrow because I got to go back to work on Wednesday and Thursday. So I might do it today or tomorrow. We're gonna start recording for the trailer footage. So we're gonna get a trailer set up for the release. So look forward to that.
Just like our last two ones, we're gonna try and make sure we've got a trailer for it. And by last two, I mean like the Free Knuckles and then the Colorful Combat demo trailer. Such a weird one.
Now the this next trailer is going to be edited by someone different. All of our trailers have been edited by a friend of mine, Shabao. This next one is going to be edited by someone else. I'm not going to say who it is because it's a secret.
If you guys follow a lot of fan games, you might know the style.
Yeah, if you follow a lot of fan games and I told you who it was, then you would immediately get like extra hype because this person can make some really cool trailers. But here soon, I'm going to start recording for trailer footage. And once that... We're not going to, like... We want to get the trailer done before this update is done. That way we can, like, properly get ready and stuff. But... we're to the point where if we record a trailer footage right now, there wouldn't really be much missing in the trailer footage that would be in the final release. You know what I mean? Because if you've watched our previous trailers, sometimes the trailers contain unfinished assets or things that are like incomplete in comparison than the final version. So if we record footage now, it would be pretty close. There will still probably be a couple of things that are going to be different between the trailer and the actual release, but it will be close. How are shields being buggy right now? Shields aren't being buggy right now. Shields just aren't in right now at all.
They appear on the enemy, they just have no functionality at all.
No functionality. The thing is, like, these shields here, these old shields, how we've been doing it, because all of these enemies here that you have been seeing, all of these are old enemies. These are enemies that don't use the new AI blueprint tree or blackboard tree. All of these use, like, painstakingly created individual character code.
Yeah, like each one's using character code, like its own variant of character code, which is why, like with the behavior tree, they all use the same behavior tree essentially, but they are like their individual blueprints are told like they do different things from their stimulus that they get.
Yeah.
The behavior tree just tells them essentially, oh, you're able to attack now, attack, do whatever it is you would do to attack, and then the individual enemy is going to be like, all right, well, this is what I do.
So we're not starting over from scratch. The gun code over here that like this enemy over here uses, the gun code here is actually the same as like the gun code this enemy here uses. We had to port it over. Essentially, these are two completely different blueprints. They're completely different actors and instances of actors, so we actually have to port it over. But because these new enemies are set up differently, we have to change and we have to update and bug fix everything that we port over from the new enemies. We just finished getting the guns done, but we've not even started on the shields, and that's something I might start on here soon. I don't think I'm going to do it today. I might actually look into it tomorrow, see how difficult it is, because if we can get that done, that would be pretty easy, or not easy, that'd be pretty nice. But the guns ended up having to be reworked a little bit to get certain things functioning for children actors. And shields are probably gonna have to be the same way. Shields are probably gonna have to be altered to function differently with child actors. Oh, excuse me. So
that's the thing. Spikes on the shields are also going to have to use the new texture. It's still the old one with the much darker gray.
So, yep, that's what we're gonna have to do with the shields. I didn't even know there were trailers.
Yeah.
You guys know what song? Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, there's been essentially two major trailers. There's been a trailer for every release, but the Free and Knuckles one had a good trailer, and then the Colors CH demo, like the Colorful Combat CH demo, had one too. And then
we've had 3 updates. Had Forge update. Well, there's the original beta release, which we did never name. That original release didn't have a title. There was the Forge update. Neither of these had trailers.
It was just you're talking about the update.
Yep.
And
There's the 3 Knuckles update, and then there's the Colorful Combat Sage update, because we released a trailer for Sage.
Yeah.
There was a teaser in the Forge video. I created a teaser in it for the rolling physics, because if Vanilla Infinity did not have rolling physics, so I created a teaser for it. I actually like going back and rewatching these trailers, because they're just really fun.
That Seagate is like so out of date because there's like hardly any foliage anywhere.
There's like no foliage or anything.
Added to it.
Junkie, you asked if we're going to include Seagate. Unfortunately, the answer to that's going to be no. We really want to include Seagate, but
yeah, this Seagate here,
the Seagate level,
it's broken.
I think.
Don't know why.
I think, unfortunately, this Seagate level might actually be lost to time. Something about it under the hood is bugged, we believe. There's something wrong with it under the hood where certain objects and assets are just not working in the level properly. Enemies don't want to work, splines aren't functional. Sometimes whenever you enter transitions, you teleport for some reason. This level now is probably irreparable, more than likely, so we're probably gonna have to
we're gonna have to start from scratch, but we probably don't have the time to do that this month, so
yeah, there's a lot of stuff we would have to completely rework and start from scratch on, so we're probably not going to be including it.
Quite sadly, because this was a really good level. This was like, I had a lot of fun working on this. Like, I came up with a general layout, and then I plonked down the major building blocks of it all, and then you went around and just filled it with all the detail.
Yeah.
And placed most of the objects, like the interactable objects.
Placed down most of the enemies, the springs, the rings, the item boxes. I placed down like the tin rings, the red rings, bombs, stuff like that, you know.
Bombs. Yeah. It was a really fun project to do for the stage, or for not stage, for the 3 Knuckles update, because we did have the original Seagate as a tutorial level, and then we decided to just step it up.
Yep.
But yeah, sadly, I don't think the Seagate's going to be included. I think we're going to keep the files for it.
Yeah, we're going to keep the files, and we're not going to get rid of the files or anything like that, so
it's just, there's going to be nothing in it. It's just literally the level layout.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be like rings and interactable objects and stuff, but the spline's going to be gone, all the enemies are going to be gone, certain other assets are going to be gone just because they won't function. But you'll still have access to it in the project files, just it won't be in the demo, unfortunately. So, are there 2 shields or 1 shield? Because there's that shield to spikes, which I assume is damaged. There's going to be 3 different shield types.
There's a standard, there's a bounce back, and then there's a spike.
Yeah, there's going to be a spring shield that whenever you hit, it will bounce you further back than normal. There's a spike shield that when you hit, it'll take damage, and there's going to be the basic shield. I really like this trailer too.
Yeah, the colorful combat one's good. So to bring back this level, you'll have to rework it from scratch. Yeah, literally just what we said.
Yeah,
we'd have to do it again from the ground up, and
we don't want to do that.
We haven't got time.
It took us what, a month and a half to build that level?
I thought it only took a couple weeks.
No. It took way more than a couple weeks to build that level. It took like a month and a half. We spent a good chunk of time on that level. Obviously, like in between working on the like actual engine, because we had to work on like, you know, features and assets in between working on the level itself. So
yeah, I think next update we can try and get like it's either if we can figure out how to fix it, we'll have that level back in, like for the next update, that Seagate, or if we can't figure it out, and I mean, I'm probably gonna do it because I'm a man. I might just make another Seagate from scratch, but like that time I would also like try and include tutorials for all the new stuff as well, and try and like more easily, because we have silver to think about next time with the level layout.
And the wisps.
Yeah, and the wisps, that's like the major thing as well. So it's like I would actually it might be more beneficial. It might have been like a blessing in disguise essentially, where like it's forcing us now to just do another one.
Yeah.
Which could help in the long run, because then we can easily make another one that includes all of the more final features and stuff like the cannons when we get that implemented in the rockets and zip lines and stuff. So it might have been a good thing that it broke.
I don't know if we did do, because like that's the thing about Seagate. I don't think a lot of people really understand this, but Seagate is actually a tutorial level. Like we created Seagate for the purpose of showing off all the features. That's what its primary focus was to show off all the features that we had in the 3 Knuckles update. It was a tutorial first, and then like a fun Sonic level second. So
yeah, which I think we did a decent job with, because you could take your time with it to like learn the stuff it was teaching you with the hint rings and stuff. But then there was some people like over time who sped run it. Like he would go as fast as he could through the level, which was fun.
It's a tutorial level every 3 and pretty much. If we did do another tutorial level, which I wouldn't be against doing, like Reese is talking about here, I don't know if it would be in the next update. I don't know if it would be in update 5. Maybe it would. I don't think I would want to go with the Seagate aesthetic. We use Seagate twice now. I think I would want to go for a different aesthetic.
Seaside Hill.
That's the same aesthetic. It's literally the exact same aesthetic.
No, you don't see the difference. Seagate is in a canyon, and then Seaside Hill is in the middle of the ocean.
I thought it was a beach side.
It is. It's beaches in the middle of the ocean when you really look at it.
There's Ocean Palace, which is all just, a bunch of temples and
it's all
stuff.
the temple. It's just the more temple side of it.
You guys must have a lot to say since I took a nap 2 hours ago. We've only been streaming for almost 2 hours. We're at the 1 hour and 58 minutes. So
we normally stream for 2 hours.
Yeah. I don't mind going a little bit longer because I'm tired. I don't really want to do anything else today.
Frog Forest.
I don't know if we did another tutorial level. I think I would want to do it in a completely different aesthetic that isn't Sonic Heroes.
But Sonic Heroes is great.
I like Sonic Heroes, but almost every other thing we do aesthetically is Sonic Heroes, and I'm kind of tired of it. We can do something different other than Sonic Heroes.
My powers on him are failing. I persuade him to do Sonic Hero stuff, guys, and it looks like it's failing.
Cassie Planet Wisp. It could be Planet Wisp. We could do Planet Wisp as an aesthetic. Like actual Planet Wisp, not fucking Eggman land halfway through, Like if I were to do...
Oh, yeah.
If I were to do Planet Wisp, it would be just all Planet Wisp. No Eggman construction shit in the middle of it.
The only thing is, if we did that, the best thing to do is for us to remove everything Seagate for project, file size.
Yeah.
That would be the one thing. If we were to, do a different aesthetic like that, we need to get rid of everything else, because otherwise then it's going to be too bloated for us to really give to people.
You know what I just realized?
What?
I don't think Planet Wisp has any shuttle loops.
No, it's only in the techno areas it has shuttle loops.
Yeah, I know it does in the classic Sonic, but
but that's actually really cool, and it would fit a lot more with
the aesthetic of this next update.
We've got the wisps in and everything, so that's actually a really cool idea.
That Jungle Joyride.
Yeah, Azerio, that was a really good idea.
Planet Wisp would actually work really well. We're not going to do Emerald Coast. Emerald Coast is a beach. We just create a beach and everyone be like, Emerald Coast, whoa!
Are you just tired of the beach aesthetic?
Yeah, I'm a little tired of the beach aesthetic. Which is
Oh,
sad
like-
because here in June I'm gonna head to Florida.
Asteroid coaster.
with the beach. Is this Mario Galaxy now? Has it got like Beach Bowl Galaxy?
Hell yeah, let's make Mario Galaxy. Let's make Sonic Mario Galaxy.
Altitude
Jungle
limit.
Joyride. Oh god.
Asteroid Coaster would be the perfect fucking tutorial level. You fail the tutorial, you fall into the deep depth reaches of space. You get one try and that's it. If you fail, you die.
Yeah. But yeah, that's another thing as well, guys. Remember, final product, we are planning on having a light version of the engine.
Yeah, we're gonna have 2 different versions of the project files. We're gonna do one that contains all of the additional levels that we've created, as well as all the assets to those levels. And we're gonna create a version that has none of that.
We're gonna have like the full version, like the full package version. I don't know, full fat. I don't know.
The full version, and there's gonna be the light version. The light version is gonna have all the same content. It's just not gonna have the same levels. You'll have all the same assets, like enemies, rings, stage assets, stuff like that.
I wouldn't say it's gonna have like stage
Stage objects, not assets.
Yeah, it's gonna have like stage objects. By that we mean like springs and
Dash ramps, dash
stuff like
rings.
that. But it's not gonna have
balloons.
level meshes.
Yeah.
It's not gonna have any levels, any level meshes. It's literally just going to be
So, like,
the very bare minimum that
No.
you need.
none of these things. The
Yeah.
final light version is not going to have any of these level assets. It's not going to have any of the additional levels.
We're going to include a loop at least because
like a
the
shuttle
the
loop.
only loop, the only loop we've got is that one.
Yeah,
So we need to at least include a loop.
we'll probably just include this shuttle loop, although it'll probably have like the green.
Mm-hmm. Seaside Hill. Pardon me.
So more than likely,
So-
that's what we'll end up doing. But
Yeah, so for the people who have like storage, like not a lot of storage or something, or like want to save as much storage as possible, they have that option. And then if people just want to have like some assets to use to just like out of the box play with, then you use the full version.
Or what we could do is we could only release a light version, and instead what we could do is we could have the levels and all of their assets in separate folders that people could optionally download if they want.
Like the plus pack.
Yeah, similar to a plus pack. Like you would just
Okay.
have the level assets and the actual levels themselves in it. That could be an
Okay.
interesting way of doing it.
We'll think about it, but yeah, that's kind of that's our plan for like the final release of this. But yes. Yeah, we've hit the 2 hour mark.
Now recap. Alright.
Stuff happened.
Stuff happened. Knuckles has new climbing animations. Quick recap. Knuckles has new climbing animations. Climb up, down, left, right, and a diagonal. He has new gliding animations as well.
Slightly edited.
Yep.
More flowiness. Tails
has new bomb assets.
And the hood.
Yep. The HUD now has new assets for the individual types of bombs. The individual bombs themselves have new assets, things like the homing bomb can animate. There's also like the rolling bomb. There's also the sticky bomb, balloon bomb, and of course the stun bomb.
The egg flappers have a whole bunch of attachments to them as well now.
Yep. Egg flappers have additional attachments that can activate.
Such as the search.
Yep.
You've got all those animations you'll be able to use for your project.
Yep.
The tails.
All button interactable items can now interact with an array of items rather than just a single item.
There's
So
new
now
meshes.
button
There's new
events.
meshes with spikes.
Yep, spikes and stuff have new meshes.
And
enemies
switch.
can shoot at you now.
New meshes and animation for that instead. Well, I say new meshes, updated meshes. The switches are new meshes, essentially, with
Yep.
new animations.
The
form changes.
character gates has some new functionality as well. The character gates over there. Obviously, there's the inner meshes over here.
Yeah, so all of the attachments for the flappers are there. Not functioning yet, but there. Besides the search.
Yep. And silver.
And then silver has the free flight adjustments. I mean, so does Tails, but
Yeah, both silver and Tails have free flight adjustments. Silver has a new hover icon. Like so.
Oh, alright, I just had to miss the first half of the stream, which showed off everything, didn't I? I just watched the VOD. Yeah, you can watch the VOD, but it comes out next week.
We archive the VOD every, like, the week after the dev stream. So
yeah.
Every Monday after the dev stream.
Oh, well, yeah, you can obviously go back and watch it on Twitch right now.
Yeah.
After the stream's over with.
There's a limited time before they get deleted, though.
Yeah, so that's why we archive them on YouTube.
Item boxes can now give you a random set of rings. They also have new icons. And you can also specify a specific number of rings they give you instead. Also a new feature.
And
there was a whole bunch of work to the combat tutorial room that we're not going to show off because spoilers.
Spoiler. But yeah, I think that's essentially was all the things we went over.
Let's see here. What is release date? We're hoping for the end of the month.
Yeah, hoping the end of this month we'll have the release date, and this is the full release, so it's also the project files.
Yeah, not just a demo like the project files. It'll be.
Yeah, so it's actually like the proper release, like the Free and Knuckles. So you're going to be able to make games with this.
So next 2 weeks, right? Within the next 4 weeks.
4 weeks?
If we have to wait until like the beginning of June, we can do that.
Okay, well, yeah. Like
I would prefer to get done before June, but if within the first week of June, I want to get it done before the very first week of June, hopefully, or within the first week of June, because I'll be gone the second week of June. So
yeah, the minimum, like, yeah, we're gonna have a small range, but we are definitely trying to get end of May.
Yeah.
As a release.
Take your time. No one's rushing you. We are rushing us. We are tired of working on this update.
We've been working on this update for a year.
I am so tired of working on this update. I want to get on to new things. I love this update. I think it's a really great update. There's a lot of amazing features. So what?
Coolest update, I would say. It's our coolest update. Like,
yeah,
it's really freaking impressive, I would say, for us.
Yeah, it's a content-packed update with a lot of interesting. There's a lot of new features from Sonic series, but there's also just a bunch of brand new features in general that we created. Things like the double ring time, like that is something that is new. There's also obviously all of the combat that we have designed ourselves. I don't think all of the combat. Some of it was influenced and inspired by other combat-related stuff from like other fan games and things, but
yeah,
there is a lot of the combat that we designed ourselves.
Yeah, there's a crap ton of stuff.
The new, the parenting system, the fact that all the characters now have their own individual parents, or like a speed parent, power parent, flight parent, stuff like that.
Did you fix the controls for Pink Wisp? Yes.
There might have been a dev stream a while ago where we talked about issues with the control. And if that's the case, then probably not.
The thing with pink spikes as well, I mean, we definitely showed it off over a previous stream, but it clings to walls properly now.
Yeah.
So you'll go over a wall and you'll still be attached to it. when you go over it. We've released on Game yeah, see how like we just sharply went over the corner there. The demo gets released on Game Jolt, but the project file gets released on Google Drive, which is linked via Discord.
I don't believe. I don't know. I will probably. All right. Here's a question for you guys, and this is for literally everyone. I'll probably also post this question on the Twitter as well. Whenever we release this update, do you want us to get rid of the 3 and Knuckles project files? Like, do you want us to replace 3 and Knuckles project files, or do you think we should keep the 3 and Knuckles project files for people to use if they still want to? There's a lot of fixes and a lot of assets and a lot of features in this new update not present in the 3 and Knuckles that you would want. But maybe some people just may not want the new update. Maybe they would just prefer to work with 3 and Knuckles. Because a lot of people have had a whole year to work with 3 and Knuckles. I think 3 and Knuckles is probably the version of Infinity Plus most people are the most familiar with. So, if people want us... Like, if people don't care, we'll just remove the 3 and Knuckles build off of the... off the Google Drive and we'll replace them.
Yeah, that's a good question. I never thought about that.
Normally, we just replace them. Like, normally we don't keep them. I think... Look here.
Yeah, but like that one's been there for a year now, so... Yeah.
I still have a copy of the 3 Knuckles files, so... It's not like they're going to be lost to time or anything. I still have the release copy, the copy that we released to everyone. There isn't a real point to it. I agree. I don't really think there's a point to it, but some other people might prefer it. So, I don't know.
That's why, like you said, you'll do a question.
Yeah, I'm gonna post a question on like the Twitter more than likely, and anyone who watches this far into the devlog, you can answer in the YouTube comments, obviously.
Do you want to mention the thing that I brought up today, or should we save that for later on down the line?
What did you bring up today?
This morning when you got up, I left messages about the name.
Oh, right, that is the thing. Okay, so keep the 3NK version or release a new version, Game Jolt or Discord. No, we're gonna release it on the Google Drive. The project files are not going on Game Jolt. They're not going on Discord. They're going on the Google Drive, just like every other update we've done in the past. That's not going to change. The question is, do we remove the old files, or do we keep them? That's the question. This next question, which Reese posed to me earlier today. I had actually asked this question last year. And
I honestly don't remember doing it, but I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah, I posted a poll sometime last year. I think it was around after we released 3 Knuckles or around Sage. I don't remember specifically. I remember posting a poll on Twitter sometime last year asking if we should rename the project from Infinity Plus to something else. And I think that question is being brought up again. Like, should we rename the project from Sonic Infinity Plus to something else to help differentiate it from the original Vanilla Infinity?
I don't like the thing that I was mentioning earlier is it'd be nice if we could have a different name, because there's kind of like sort of like a brand confusion sort of thing going on with Infinity and Infinity Plus, because obviously it's the same name but just with plus on the end.
Not entirely. That goes by Infinity Engine. We go by Infinity Plus.
Well, yeah, but it's like it's still similar thing. But the idea is we're not going to change the name until the final release. That's what I was thinking. Just to keep it consistent for now, and then when we're done, we will release the final product under a different name. It's still Infinity Plus, but it's just so then like it's easier to
There's less brand confusion, which the brand confusion thing, that's not new. The moment we started working and we rebranded to Infinity Plus, people were still confused. Everyone's like, oh, this is Infinity Engine, even though, it is built off the original Infinity Engine, but it is technically something completely new and different. It's got so many new assets and features and stuff compared to the original vanilla Infinity Engine. But the brand confusion's not new. That's not a new problem. That's been around since we started working on the project. So the question is, should we go ahead and just rename to something different? Originally, I was against renaming, but I was still open to the idea of it if a lot of people wanted us to. Like, if everyone wanted us to rename, I would have just sucked it up and renamed it. I was not, dead set on keeping the name Infinity Plus. I think I would still prefer Infinity Plus, but now, it could just because I'm tired. I'm kind of indifferent about the situation right now anyway. If enough people, really want us to rename Infinity Plus, we would consider doing it. I'm not sold on Sonic Aurora, though.
Yeah, no, I just thought of a random name.
I think that's actually the name of another fan game. I think there's another fan game called Sonic Aurora. I could be wrong. But
it's just a random name that I came up with on the spot for a potential final name for the project when it's finished. But that wasn't a final thing. That was just something I came up with on the spot. I was like, what sounds cool? Aurora Borealis.
Aurora Borealis. Aurora Borealis.
Yeah, that's essentially you. Just like Sonic Aurora. But
Aurora Borealis. And this fandom on this engine.
Localized entirely within your hard drive. Yes.
I see it.
Yes.
I'm glad they finally got rid of that stupid skydiving person on YouTube who doesn't know what's going on. What? I'm a little confused on that.
I don't know, there's definitely going to be questions.
Why not call it Sonic Azerio?
Overtime and blue with his seat play it. It's gonna be questions.
Yeah.
About everything in the project files. but yeah, we kind of just threw that out there at the end for food for thought for people, and it's prepping for it. It isn't something that's going to take immediate action, and again, it might not even take action depending on what people want, because we're going to more put this down to a community thing.
Yeah, if everyone wants us to rename from Sonic Infinity Plus to something else, then we will. But I'm tired of people asking dumb questions. You think you're tired? Hey, Zerio, where Infinity Plus Android win?
Oh god.
Infinity Plus Android win. I mean, come on. Infinity Plus Android. It's perfect for Android. I mean, obviously Android can handle this. It shouldn't be that hard to port to Android. Infinity Plus Android win. I mean, come on. Come on, Reese, win.
Right now, I'm coding it as we speak. Done. Oh, my phone just blew up.
Your phone just blew up. It's funny because, of the three of us that work on Infinity, you're the only one with an Android phone. Me and Emmanuel both have iPhones.
Yeah.
So the only one that could bug test an Android build of Infinity Plus would be you.
My phone is barely functioning as it is right now anyway. So, yeah, I don't think I could bug test that kind of thing, so it's just not.
Infinity Plus should be able to run on a phone. It might destroy the phone instantly. You open Infinity Plus and the phone just combusts.
The phone just says, okay, I'm a die now, thank you forever.
So, I'm going to grab some more water, and I got to run to the restroom. We're going to take the last couple moments, answer any questions you guys have. I might stream again later on today, just play some more heroes, because it'd be cool to try and get those before I have to go back to work. Maybe, maybe not, we'll have to see. But go ahead and ask any last minute questions you guys have. How would you guys make a game on that? It would be a demo. It wouldn't actually be the project files. You can't do that on an Android. People are asking for packaged demos on Android. which we're not going
Yeah,
to do.
which is kind of the thing that always is kind of confusing. Like people want Infinity Plus on Android. It's like, well, yeah, if it was on Android, like, what would you do with it? It's just the test level.
I'm going to run to the restroom, grab another water bottle. You guys can go ahead and ask the questions any last minute questions you want, and we'll answer them. So I'm going to be right back. Just give me one moment.
Okay, I guess I'm stuck here answering questions while he's gone. So yes, I do think Fizz should be fired. I'm fine with everything that happened today. But yeah, it's just if people have any kind of question relating to the project, more we more like to take the time now to answer questions. Then I mean, we get questions throughout the stream. There's no problem in getting questions throughout the stream, but like we like to get a few more bigger questions around about now to cap the stream off with. So if you guys have any kind of ideas for anything, you're more than welcome to ask questions about the engine framework. I don't see a reason why, if you were going to rename the project, then why not call it Sonic Cereal? There's no reason not to. And we'll put that high on the priority for a rename. I mean, I thought my name was pretty cool, but I guess it wasn't. But maybe you should. Whoa. See, it's an accident. We're taking the credit for making the engine. Well, that's a bit much. Unreal Engine is good for this Infinity Plus engine. Yep. Unreal Engine is really cool. Works very well. You guys do any more work with bosses? Die up the British way. um, Bosses is actually a thing that's slightly been neglected for this update. That is actually a thing I completely forgot about. It's not
Say
that
what?
much. I was just talking about how we're going to end you.
Okay, whatever plan you guys make, can you make it up faster? Like, just.
I mean, I already told you it's It's going to be the British way. I'm going to come over there and with my dinner knife and give you a little poke.
Dinner knife.
Yeah. But Junkie just asked about bosses, and I'm like, yeah, we kind of neglected that as well this update. Eggman is in here.
Yeah, he's in here.
But he doesn't function. All you can do is just hit him, and then he makes a noise.
He makes a lot of noises.
Oh, we had no plan. It was all his idea. Not we, totally. Eggman Angie.
He's a very angry Eggman.
I had to animate him. Doing this, and then I got really annoyed because then his mesh broke.
You talking about? I haven't seen any breaks anywhere.
That isn't the worst one. The worst one's more on his arm. Like on his other arm.
Was it on his elbow?
Go the
Oh
other
yeah,
arm.
there it is.
Yeah.
Seems like that's just like a polygon that's scaled down, like it's in proper.
It's backwards essentially. It's weird. I know what the problem is, but I can't really articulate what the
There's
problem
like an
is.
inverse scaling or something.
It's kind of like merged two polygons together that really didn't need to be merged. Broke him.
Extra looks pissed. He angy. No talk to Eggman. He angy.
Frame of crime on you.
Executed
by the queen. By the queen.
Can't you do something faster?
What?
Just get my death over quicker. Just real quick.
I'm mailing the dinner knife right now. Look, it's cheaper to mail the knife than to mail me. I weigh a crap ton, dude.
Alright, so the immersion is good for this interface.
Eggster is also missing pieces of himself too.
See. I did actually have an idea for renaming it. I have actually 2 different ideas.
What's your ideas?
Um,
Because mine's the ultimate.
the first one, I'm not like too certain on. I do kind of like the second one. The first one I had was like the Sonic Blueprint framework. You could like call it the Sonic Blueprint framework, similar. Rather than just like ours is currently called Sonic Infinity Plus. Like in name, it would be the Blueprint framework, but like with Sonic in it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because whenever you design something, you blueprint it out. In construction, you use blueprints to plan things out to see how things are like structured and what assets you need where and stuff like that. And the same thing with the level. Whenever you build a level, you would kind of blueprint it out. You get rough sketches and stuff like that, and then you build it out from there. And of course, a large majority of the code is also built in blueprints. So thematically, I think it's kind of interesting.
I see.
Second one I had.
What does I see?
Yeah, it's kind of bland. I can see that one. The other one I had was Sonic Visions, or the Vision framework.
That sounds a bit cool. I do kind of like that one.
I have a question. Did you fix the speed walls, and did you make rings refill boost? The rings can refill boost. I don't remember if we fixed the breakable walls or not.
Oh.
But yeah, rings can refill your boost. They can. They don't currently because I have it turned off. But yes, they can. I've tested it.
The blur engine. Nice.
I think the blur engine actually is already used.
Blur engine? Like as a Sonic framework or just an actual engine?
I don't know. Blur engine sounds familiar.
There's the game Blur.
Oh, rings can refill energy. Give energy. Oh, I gotta include that asset into the splines if they can like give energy or not. If I collect this ring, it gave me a teeny bitty bit of energy. Gotta include that in. But yes, the rings can give you energy.
Yeah, it's more like if we are gonna actually do the rename, guys, we have to see if like the majority of people would be down for it.
If a large majority of like the frameworks community wants it to be renamed, as well as just like the fan game community in general. If the fan game and community in general weren't renamed, so what?
The Sonic Eat Bread engine.
The Sonic Does His Taxes engine.
Yes, that's what we're gonna do. Sonic Tax engine. Sonic Tax framework.
Yeah, the taxes engine. Sonic goes to the DMV.
Sonic goes to get the groceries.
Sonic gets his
realistic Sonic's direction.
Sonic takes his chow to the vet.
Oh dear! Oh no! I think what we want to do though is make sure that engine isn't in the name.
Yeah, it's not going to be named engine. A lot of people are constantly confused by the word engine. It's not an engine; it's a framework. So if we did rename it, it's not going to be called an engine because the Blueprint engine that would actually be kind of cool, or the Vision engine. That'd be
engine cool. Is the engine, but we built it from Unreal Engine, so now it's a framework.
Sonic goes to his lawyer to prepare his divorce papers.
Oof.
Sonic goes to the bank to declare bankruptcy. So it's not an engine. One of the reasons, and also part of the reason why people keep getting confused between Infinity Engine and Infinity Plus is we removed the word engine from Infinity Plus for the specific purpose of clarifying that it's not an engine, it's a framework, and to help separate it from vanilla Infinity Engine. Because whenever people think of vanilla Infinity Engine, they just say Infinity Engine. What I wanted is whenever people thought of Infinity Plus to say Infinity Plus, not Infinity Engine. That was the design. That was the idea of naming it Sonic Infinity Plus. Remove engine so that way people don't get confused on the fact that it's not actually an engine, it's a framework because it's not an engine. And to help differentiate it from what people already call the vanilla Infinity Engine. What's the difference between an
I
engine and a framework?
I just explained it. Unreal Engine is the engine. We are using Unreal Engine and then making a like half done game, you could say, where essentially we're just making the assets, and then that means that's a framework now. So the engine is Unreal, but then the framework is Infinity Plus, which is what people will use to then make their fan game. It's like the middle. It's like the middleman.
Yeah, technically it's the middleman. The way I explained it to a friend of mine is this. You don't build a game in an engine, you build a game in a framework. You build a framework in an engine. So whenever you have an engine, you build and adjust and modify the engine however you want to create what is called a framework on top of that engine. And from there, you take your tools from the framework to create a game out of it. That is the difference between an engine and a framework. Frameworks can be anywhere between like what we have, where it's just a bunch of pre-made assets that function differently using the engine tools, to something a lot more complex where they go into the actual engine code and modify it and change it to fit specifically what they want for their game, which a lot of game developing companies do. Like a lot of times, like probably if I had to guess, probably like, you know, Crash 4 or the Spyro Insane trilogy, or I don't think Hat in Time was made in Unreal. Like a bunch of Unreal Engine games.
I'm gonna cry.
What?
No, I'm just responding to them thingy there.
Oh.
Repeat a third time.
Yeah. You can modify really deep into the engine, how the engine functions, and then build a framework off of that. So what constitutes as a framework is a lot more flexible, but ideally you don't, at the end of the day, when you make a game, you actually make a framework first and then a game. That's often why a lot of times sequels can be a little bit faster, like can be produced a little bit faster than first games, because you already have the framework on hand. All you got to do is make adjustments and changes. Yeah, a lot of times it's a lot of asset reworking and stuff like that, and a lot of, you know, storyboarding. And if you want to like go for an all new visual asset, then obviously sequels would have to like go through and rework all the visuals and stuff. But
yeah. So yeah, Vanilla Infinity is a framework.
Yes, Vanilla Infinity is technically a framework. It's not an engine. Dash Engine is not an engine. Dash Engine is a framework. Bumper Engine is a framework. It's not an engine. Go ahead.
Vanilla Infinity was never meant to be a framework.
Yeah, technically, Vanilla Infinity never was supposed to be a framework.
It was meant to be a game. I believe it was meant to just be a game, and then we've just like completely changed it into a framework.
Oban, whenever he created the Vanilla Infinity engine, he created the framework to build a fan game off of, and he didn't ever finish or really get into the actual fan game development part. He kind of just got partway through developing his framework for his fan game, and then released that. So that is what we know as Vanilla Infinity Engine today. A lot of people look at Vanilla Infinity Engine and go, wow, this is like really unfinished and buggy. Because it was. Like, they're like, oh, there's a lot of like things in here that should be in here that aren't. It's because it's unfinished. Like, Vanilla Infinity Engine was very, very unfinished. He never claimed it was finished. It was just, he released it because he got tired of working on
it. 1 minute.
So why put yourself as an engine? We don't save Infinity Engine. Like us, whenever we go and talk about our framework, whenever we talk about Infinity Plus, we try to avoid saying Infinity Engine Plus. We try and avoid saying Infinity Plus Engine. We just simply say Infinity Plus, because it's not an engine, it's a framework. The only reason I say Infinity Engine is whenever I'm talking about vanilla. If I say Infinity Engine, 9 times out of 10, I'm talking about Vanilla Infinity Engine. So that's the only reason I say engine, 9 times out of 10. And Vanilla Infinity was not meant to be a fan game maker. Like, it wasn't meant to be a released framework. Oban originally had a fan game concept in mind he wanted to make, and he started working on the framework for it, and he never finished it. He lost interest, and so he released what he started working on. And at that point in time, it became a framework. Will the attack code for the enemies be in the next update? Yes. This update will contain the attacking code for it. I'm having some issues with it.
I'm back.
Well, actually, no, not the attacking code. The attacking code, for the most part, is actually fine. The main issue right now is the enemy wandering code. Sometimes enemies just don't want to fucking wander. I know why. I just don't know how to fix it. I know why they don't want to wander. I know why, but I also don't know why. Like, I know why they aren't working, but I don't know why it is that they aren't working, if that makes sense.
You don't know how to fix it.
Yeah, I don't know what is causing them to do it. Like, them not to function as intended. Plasma Dan, how you doing today? They're dead inside. Just make them wander, it's easy. Oh, yeah, it's easy.
When you get that like feed fish, you should just eat whatever's around you. Oh.
And what I wanted to happen was I wanted to create a little GIF of Fizz eating a fish, and then every time that gets redeemed, like it would pop up on stream. You know what I
mean? Yeah.
So it'd be like a cute little animated GIF of Fizz eating a fish. That's what the idea was.
Fizz,
hopefully I can still do that.
You need to get up now. You need to go down to your fridge and get a fish.
We don't have any fish. I want some fish, though. I've been craving some fish.
Why do you not have fish? Why do you not have fish and chips?
Because fuck you.
With salt and vinegar. Don't you dare say it's disgusting, because it's amazing, alright?
I don't like salt and vinegar.
Oh my god, you're weird.
This node right here is causing the problem. This node right here. Hate it. This get random point navigatable radius. What this does is it gets the origin point, which is your actor's location, or in this case the egg pawn, and it will find a random point within this radius, within a navigatable radius. So it has to be within a nav mesh. So what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to find a random location, pass it in as a vector that the egg pawn can then move to. But for some reason, it just won't. On occasion, on some maps, for whatever reason, it just won't. Like, and not even like consistently in the map. Sometimes it works in some areas of the maps and not other areas in the map. Like in the combat tutorial, that's an issue we're having where there are certain areas where enemies should be able to walk around in and they just won't. But yet in other areas in that exact same map, they will walk around in. I don't fucking know why. Confused.
This is very strange. Hoping to get it ironed out though.
The death system needs to be revised because it dies of death. The stage is supposed to load, but it doesn't. Have you tried saying please? No.
Have you tried saying just tell the enemies please work?
Actually, I have done it. You have no idea how much begging goes into actually getting this to function.
Fizz eating fish should make you go down to the fish market and purchase anything needed. Just try hard enough.
Just do it better. Here, let me just put this node in here better. Do it gooder.
Please.
Please.
No, do the yoinky splinky.
Egg pawn, do that yoinky splinky. Please.
Beep boop.
Oh
boop.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think a very, very finite amount of people are going to get that joke.
Hit that yoinky splinky.
Please.
I'm gonna fucking die.
Just don't clip for the word egg pawn. Please.
Please.
If it actually works. If it does your
I didn't do anything. I've not changed anything. Like, literally nothing about this code has changed. My only guess. I have tried so many things. I've tried using different nodes. I've tried setting up different parameters in the nodes. I've even tried, like, positioning the enemies in different areas. I've even tried widening the radius in which they can move. Like this variable, I've also widened the nav mesh to give them a larger area to choose from and move to. It just will not work. The only thing I can think of left, the last thing I can think of, is I'm going to like widen the radius.
The last resort.
I'm gonna widen the nav mesh, and then I'm gonna remove all but one enemy. Like, let there only be one enemy in there, so there's no other enemies to like choose locations. To see if that will like do it, like just to make sure it can actually find a location that another egg pond hasn't already chosen. You know,
It's very unlikely.
it's very unlikely. Like there's no reason why that should work, but I don't know. I don't know what else to do. Put 2 loaves of bread in between the code and call it an idiot sandwich. Pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't get it. This, like, if this doesn't get a location to tell the egg pond to move, what it will do instead is it will return its own location. Like, it's like, oh, I couldn't find a location. This return value will fail. Like, hey, I have failed to find a random point. It will just return its own location to it. And because of that, because it's returning its own location, it's then told to move that to that location, but it's already there. So it's like, oh, I'm already here. Move on with the rest of the code. And then the rest of the code runs, and the rest of the code's like, all right, well, nothing has been updated, so just return back. And then it returns to this point, and then this point is supposed to find a new location, and it doesn't, so it just sits there, and it does nothing. And then I want to hit it, but I can't because it's not a physical object that I can punch. You see my problem here, Reese? You get the problem?
You want to punch the code? Understandable, mate. Have a great day.
Understandable. Have a great day. Maybe you should put the enemy on a set path for now and fix it later. The whole point of it was to, one, like, just provide like a more dynamic area for people to play around in, and two, I do actually need them to wander for a specific purpose, because in the tutorial area you're supposed to teach the player what the stun bomb does. And the nice feature about the stun bomb is it has a higher attention priority than the player does, so enemies will actually ignore the player and instead focus on the stun bomb. But in order for them to do that, they have to be able to wander. They have to be able to walk freely. You can't sit them on a track and then expect them to walk to
code, force it to
stun.
work. Ooh.
Just punch it. I'm punching your salad.
Oh, you're punching Emmanuel's spaghetti.
Didn't you set this up?
No, I set that up, but I'm just saying because Emmanuel's wanted a spaghetti. All right, it's because it's a food reference. Okay, I'm not saying that it's my problem here. That's it's causing you pain. Okay, all right, fine.
Moving on. Don't fire me.
Don't fire me.
So, the new fan game idea: Fizz beats the shit out of code. I call it Sonic Zero. You can put air friction when you jump or boost. Sick. I think the jump code's fine how it is right now. I don't think there's that much of a problem with the jump code. Problem with the homing attack code, apparently. I'm gonna have to look at that.
Bugs people, am I right?
Huh?
Bugs people, am I right?
Bug people.
No, bugs people, am I right? Oh,
You're not correct.
Okay. I see.
Alright,
Anyway,
well.
We're getting ready to wind up now because we are literally almost at the 3-hour mark now.
He's got a whole swarm in his. It's not my enemy watering system, it's actually Reese's that I have found with, but. Alright, if anyone else has any last minute questions, we're gonna call it good here. Sonic Zero. With MS Paint, it's just 2 frames. Fizz and Reese beating up a computer.
Yes.
Since you guys don't know what Reese looks like, just paste a picture of Daniel Radcliffe in there and it'll work.
Yeah, apparently I look like Daniel Radcliffe.
You do look like Daniel Radcliffe.
just get Harry Potter. Just get Harry Potter's face and draw that. There you go. You've got me. I look like Harry Potter. But yeah.
It's both a joke and true. You do look like Harry Potter. And I'm not saying that because you're British. You do actually look like Daniel Radcliffe.
Wow.
So, yep. Alright, well, if...
Unironically, we had one of those like face swapping app things, and we put my face on Daniel Radcliffe, and
It didn't look any different. It looked exactly the same. It was really funny.
But yeah, we're gonna leave that increasingly embarrassing topic.
Moving on from this increasingly embarrassing topic, or increasingly humiliating topic.
Yep.
All right. Well, it doesn't look like anyone else has any other questions, so we're probably gonna close it up here. You guys are doing great. Keep at it. Enjoy yourself once in a while. I'm trying to. That's why I play Heroes on occasion. But
Yeah, Heroes is fun. It's the best Sonic game.
Reese is British. He might beat you with tea. He does. He attempts to beat me with tea.
He dumped the tea in the ocean. Remember, I gained power from that.
Alrighty. Well, thank everybody who stopped by and joined in. The next dev stream will be the 24th. So what?
Is it going to be Monday?
Maybe. The next dev stream will either be on the 24th or it'll be on the 28th. One of the two dates, because I go back to work this week, and I'm pretty sure I have February or Friday set to unavailable. So what we might actually end up doing is we might move dev streams from Mondays to Fridays, every other Friday. And if that's the case, even then, if it is the next 28th, regardless, I will not be present for the dev stream after. You'll probably end up having to hold it, Reese.
Oh boy.
Because I'm going to be on vacation from the 6th to the 12th.
Oh, that's going to be a pain, remember, with Unreal, how it's acting up with me.
Yeah.
Oh well, get to that hurdle. We'll get to that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah, if not, we could do it on the 13th, because I did also request the 13th off for, like, you know, a day to rest up from jet lag and stuff.
We'll see it. If we have more information, we're going to post it on Discord, so make sure that your yous are in the Discord, because we'll post any updates to, like, any changes to stream dates or stream plans on the Infinity Plus Discord.
It's not next dev stream, it would be the dev stream after. Next dev stream, I'll still be here.
Yes, I've got a supporter.
I will I will still be hosting the next dev stream. It's the dev stream after.
You know what I'll do? You know what I'll do for a face cam? I'll just get a picture of Daniel Radcliffe. Fizz, just pass me your streaming like.
Oh, I'll give you my stream layout, and in the camera you just put Daniel Radcliffe up there.
Yeah, just put Daniel Radcliffe up there. Perfect.
All right,
nothing ever changed.
All right, well, thank you for everyone who came in and joined us. Like I said, the next session will either be the 24th or the 28th. Bank on the 28th more so than the 24th, so we'll probably be moving this to Fridays. But just in lonely and 480p quality. Yep.
Yes.
But until next time, we will see everybody then.
All right, yo. Thanks everybody. See you later.